Streaming the whole show.
Yeah, he wanted me to come watch in his background, but I just wanted to watch it without listening to him bitch about it the entire time.
Same here. And we're live. Sorry, LDG, but we preferred to watch the show in quiet.
That's right.
We know how LDG is when there's a show on and he don't agree with things. He will argue and yell all through it. Good evening, folks. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And here is Mr. LDG himself.
You know what? That was a very good call that you did not want to watch with me because that was fucking garbage. That was utterly fucking garbage. Like very good call. You know, I felt my feelings were hurt a little bit, and then that was a very good call. Because I would have blown your drum up.
Shut up, because I have to make an announcement. I was wrong. They did not kill off Android Picard.
No,
I was wrong about that. Even though they did play it up there for a little while where he thought he was going to bite the big one.
Yep.
And greetings, Joseph. And I'm gonna throw a shout out right now, Captain Foley. You were wrong also. Because earlier tonight, Captain Foley he said that there would be no way they would rename the Titan Enterprise. And that's what they did.
Oh my God.
That was total cheese.
The Enterprise G didn't even get a new ship. They just got the Titan.
I will say I did like the very beginning when you heard Walter Koenig playing his son. And they gave a little nod towards the actor that played Chekhov in the JJ verse with the first name Anton.
Yeah, it was a nice little thing. Also a nice little throwback to the Star Trek 4 "Do Not Approach Earth" speech too.
Yep. So that was a good little nod there that I did appreciate at the beginning. The whole space battle, though, that was kind of bullshit. And
that space dock was pretty much indestructible. They should build all their ships out of the space dock, apparently.
It reminded me of an episode. It reminded me of a mission on Star Trek Online. You know that game that's impossible to lose.
I mean, they were shooting every phaser at it, photon torpedoes flying left and right, and it just sat there and ate everything until the very end.
Mm-hmm. Until the moment it needed to go into a cinematic. Yes.
And then it took them forever to lock onto the cities. Come on now. As soon as the space dock was gone, they should have just been firing immediately. But hey, they had to drag that out too so they could blow up the Borg cube. Boom, boom.
That was the weakest Borg plot ever.
Yeah,
it had a lot of bark, but no bite. Like,
and what the hell was this shit? Crusher firing weapons better than Worf?
I was laughing so hard. During that.
I mean, what the hell? All right, but we're gonna shut up for a minute because Bunny Man has been loving this season, so let's get Bunny Man up here. And we're going to bring up Bird of Prey 5 too.
Hey,
but
Bird,
Bunny Man.
Bird of Prey 5, Kapla.
But Bunny Man, you've been defending this season all through it. And though it did show that the D is a fat, oversized cow because it couldn't even fit in a ring at the museum.
God damn.
It could, just go ahead. Go
ahead, Bunny Man. Defend it.
It wasn't. I didn't think it was a terrible episode. It was. I mean, it had a bunch of action and it was a lot of fun to watch. But I will admit there were a lot of conveniences in it. And I mean, I think it did its job as a finale, though. Overall, right now, I'll probably watch it again just to make sure. But I'd give it a B for right now.
Ooh, he dropped his rating from last week.
It loses points because of how convenient a lot of things were.
Oh yeah, how they found the changelings so quickly now.
I mean, if you go starting from the beginning, The whole space battle was a bit contrived. There was no way I thought that the space dock would last as long as it did. It should have just gotten blown away right away. Or, the fleet could have just went to the other side of the planet and avoided it altogether. But the stuff on the Enterprise wasn't terrible. I didn't think for a second they were going to destroy the ship or have everyone die on it. So that didn't really bother me as much. The stuff on the Borg ship, was supposed to be, a dramatic scene with Jack and Picard. I found myself kind of giggling the entire time because I thought it was just kind of hilarious. So that didn't work for me, obviously. And the whole, I thought it was, also convenient that they had Data there to fly the ship through the Borg cube to essentially fly through the Death Star to get to the reactor chamber and destroy the reactor. That was convenient. Also, and then the last minute beam out of the away team was pretty convenient. So there was just a lot of things that were just way too convenient. The whole cloaking device was able to disconnect them from the fleet-wide automation. The transporter guns for when Seven and Rafi retook the bridge, that was another just kind of just plot device, it felt like. But there's lots to complain about, but overall, like I said, it was just, it's a fun episode, and like I said, it did what it had to do and close out the season and series.
Oh, and Bird.
Oh my God, it was so great, guys. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to apologize to Terry Matalas. Somebody can call him. Anybody who knows Terry, tell him I'm sorry. I'll suck his dick. I'm so sorry, Terry. I shouldn't. I don't know what I was thinking.
Somebody clip that Bird will suck his dick.
Actually, I think I have a couple here. 1 second.
Hey, hello, Random Menace.
Greetings from the future. Hi.
Hey, Joseph.
I think Bird is broken.
I think Bird is broken. And I was the one being called a shill tonight on Twitter. But hey.
I'm sorry. Call me.
I think I might be one of the few left with the actual connection to Terry Matalas, since he's still blocking people, but not me. So I will send the message for you, Bird.
I fully recognize there's a lot of things to not like in this episode, and I can see why a lot of people wouldn't actually like it. But yeah, for me, I didn't hate it. So yeah, it's just
no, neither did I. And who thought that Worf is going to be the funniest character of the episode?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It was kind of a toss-up between Worf and Data with the funny lines.
Was it? I think, with Worf's physical comedy as he fell asleep, or then when he said that he thought... for a moment, what was the sentence that he thought that they're going to survive?
For a moment, I thought we'd survive.
Yeah, exactly. That was a brilliant line as well. So, and by the way, yeah. LD, thank you very much for doing the watch party.
Cool. No problem.
Because otherwise I wouldn't have the chance to see it at this moment.
Not a problem.
I don't know.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I also finally understand what people were saying about the middle finger to Kurtzman with that final end scene.
Oh yeah,
brought Q back.
That was a nice twist. That was a nice twist. I could live without it. Yeah. Easily. That scene was really like a raised middle finger to basically to the whole season 2.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Because with this season, they completely erased season 2. Completely. With everything that happened there.
Yeah. Which I don't mind at all.
I didn't mind it either. I really did not mind that middle finger to Kurtzman. Not at all. But I will say, in defense with the data lines now, the whole bit where he was talking about how he could fly the ship through the Borg cube, and the whole I hope
this was the one thing that bothered me a little bit, because we know that the Borg cube is, I don't know, this was some huge, bigger than ever seen before Borg cube.
It had to have been.
If the D could fly through it like a fucking Sonics, okay?
Yeah,
no,
because
it had a drive
we know that what's the length of the Enterprise D?
About half a mile or something like that.
Yeah, so something like that. And we know that the Borg cube is 3 by 3 kilometers, so which means whatever it is in miles, something like 1.7 miles.
Yeah, well, I mean, this one was definitely larger.
The Borg cube was so huge it made Jupiter look small.
That if you could fly through the cube, where's the atmosphere? You mean it's open to space?
Force fields, that's easily explained away. That's not
the
a problem.
Entire ship is full of force field.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I mean,
you
I
can
was
fly
counting
through?
the turn. Yeah, the Enterprise made like 9 different turns inside that cube. Okay, no, how big is that? No,
it would have made a little bit more sense if they had at least detached the saucer section and just went in with the.
It was way too maneuverable.
But with the saucer on there, that should have made it harder.
I've got to go do my thing. So thank you guys for.
Okay, take care, Bird.
To come up.
We cannot wait till a Bird review.
Enjoy the episode.
Well,
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but
we will enjoy.
They
Bird,
played
at
it
least
conservative.
Yeah, at least 1.5 hours, please. At least. You know, I enjoy listening to you. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Talk to you guys later.
See you, Bird.
Later, Bird. Get some rest.
Yeah,
he has to go record while it's fresh in his mind.
Basically.
Before we taint it. Plus, Mama Prey's awake. I think he just woke Mama Prey up. Bad
Fuck
Bird.
you, Terry Metalis.
Damn, that's loud. What the hell?
I honestly think the best part of that entire episode, though, was after the entire battle, and it was essentially just wrapping everything up.
Yeah, they wrapped things
wrapped up
way
real early.
too quick.
Yeah, I mean, it was magical MacGuffin.
Yeah, that's the problem of
everything.
Of 8 episodes of stretching everything and introducing new stuff, and then not having enough time to finish everything.
Well, I mean, it's no faster really than, I guess, Best of Both Worlds. I mean,
no,
I mean, that was just as dumb. So I can forgive them for doing a quick wrap.
Well, no, I will say, no, it was kind of fast. That just out of the blue, poof, Crusher figured out how to erase all the stuff, all the Borg stuff from the people, and be able to tell who the changelings were now, just through one transport.
It did take a year because they did
it took a year. It took a year each, and let me remind you that she was the one who had the possibility to study them, basically to have them on a slab and cut them open. You know.
Okay. Here's the other
doing though. Like,
I will say that
gone.
It's ridiculous that Space Dock was able to be rebuilt in 1 year.
Yeah. I was just about to mention that one too. After it finally succumbed after hours of battle and blew up, within 1 year they had a brand new Space Dock in place.
Yeah. They might have dragged it from somewhere else, you know.
Well, it was like exactly the same. It just, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but that was just way too convenient.
Yeah, it was the Voyager ending where the next episode everything's perfect, no matter how much damaged it was or whatever situation they were in.
And then we had this guy in the chat saying haters gonna hate.
Well, it's true. I did roll my eyes when they did the rechristening, though.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh,
so
the G?
unnecessary. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
When
so
does a new letter get a demotion? Get a
it was
downgrade?
funny. It was funny because Captain Foley swore earlier tonight that they would not do that. There's no way they would have done that.
Well, they did.
I didn't really think
Enterprise
they would
G
either.
is now a
to be
Nova
honest.
class.
It just seemed like the dumbest twist of it all. I mean, they did set up. I think at the end, though, they did set up. They did a good setup for like a 7 captain for a Captain 7 show, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, with Rafi, hell no.
Well, yeah, I know.
Rafi and 7. It's gonna be interesting. It's
Counselor
literally gonna
Picard.
be Thelma and Louise Star Trek. I'm telling
Guys,
you.
I know I'm
Thelma
probably
and Louise
talking
Trek.
over you guys, but I literally
What?
lost all the hearing in my left ear, so I can't hear anything right now.
I blame LDG.
Dude, I told him to get some rest.
I don't know what's wrong with it, but yeah, all I can hear is a huge high pitched whine, and it's really loud in my head, so I can't really hear you guys all that well.
Oh, then
do
you
you need to go to
can't
the doctors, dude?
What?
You need to go to the doctors.
The doctor.
I'm pretty sure it's just completely clogged, so I'm using a ear cleaning thing that I bought. I'm gonna see if that works.
pen cap.
Yep, and cap time.
So I can still hear my own voice in that ear. And when I was looking things up, it said if you can only hear like when you hum in your good ear, then you should probably go see a doctor right away. But if you can still hear it in your head, in your bad ear, then you can.
He's got this.
That sounds so official.
I was from doctors on the web from web.
Yeah, on the what? Yeah, on the what? Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you tell me that's the website that you stay away from?
That's not because they don't have doctors. It's because half the time you think you have fucking cancer after you read that shit.
Here we go. We got a comment from Black. So today I watched the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reunion episode, and just now the last episode of Picard. Both were equal in quality.
I don't understand.
Oh, that's not saying much. Ooh.
Is that good or bad?
That's bad, because who the hell wants to watch the Power Rangers?
Well, there's some big Power Ranger fans out there.
Hell no. They don't even have the good Pink Ranger, so what the hell's the use of it?
So Troy can sense emotion from Data. So there we go, guys.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
Another assertion that these synth bodies are real people.
Yeah, that's why they call them synths. They're synthetic humans.
Exactly.
What do you mean exactly? I mean, we do that from the end of the first season of Picard.
Yes, but we didn't know the extent of how far they're going to take it with the whole "is Picard really Picard" bullshit.
I mean, maybe
so technically Picard isn't dead. That actually is Picard.
Pretty obvious.
I keep having these number spikes, like people are joining real quick and then leaving real quick. I think they're going to watch the episode instead of just hear us talk about.
How did you name the stream? How did you name the stream?
I put review on it, so there should be no confusion about watching this. You're not going to watch it. You're just going to get a review after we watch this, and well, we're giving the review. Bunny Man lowered his rating from last week from an A+ to a B.
So I lowered my score from last week too. I just gave it an A from last week.
Yeah,
it seemed to drag on for a year.
I'm sorry, dude. Once again, another episode that the only good parts about it were member berries. Like, as far as the episode, the ending that we just got, there's no way I'm giving that piece of shit a B. I mean, that was no, it wasn't exciting. It led up to nothing. The magical fix-all bunny pizza was overcooked and underdeveloped. I mean, the way they got out of that cube with the queen, that whole part was fucking ridiculous. It was.
Well, yeah,
I
because
don't even know what I watched.
Well, they made it sound like if they fired on it, the whole thing's going to blow up right then and there.
Yeah. Yep.
But then they went on to, well, we're going to have time to get out of here. It's just going to be a short time, and we only have a minute.
That was a very long minute.
That was a very long minute, and it took longer than a minute for him to fly through all of it anyway, so how in the hell would he fly out in a minute? That didn't make sense. And then they get right over him, and it seems like half the cube's gone already, because there's wide open space above the Enterprise D when they stop to beam him up. Didn't make sense.
Which means there's atmosphere in there.
The drive-through Borg cube was fucking ridiculous. The D, I mean, it would have been better if the D did separate. Like, that would have been okay. That might have like shut me up on that bit. But if you didn't separate, there's no. I don't give a shit what data you were thinking about your gut, but you were driving the D like Speed Racer. No way is that believable.
Yeah,
I mean, the D was moving. Okay, here we go. The D was moving like the Defiant. Better than the Defiant, I would say. Would you agree? Cricket. Hello?
Well, I try to speak, and you speak over me every time I try to say something.
Okay, just answer my question.
I wasn't paying attention.
Was the D moving better than the Defiant? I swear to God, dude.
Well, yeah, it was, and it made no damn sense.
Okay,
they should have ditched the damn saucer section. Then I would have believed it a little bit more.
We literally all said that we had a problem with that it was maneuvering way too easily through that Borg ship, and you're like making it sound like we didn't.
I'm agreeing with you. Hey, listen, all right.
Yes, Justin.
And then how did the D make it to the center of the cube? And when they blow up the center, the queen was like, "Oh my God!" Like, were you paying attention? Did you not know where the D was that whole time?
Actually, she knew the D was there before it even fired.
Yeah.
She knew the Enterprise. No, you rewatch that section. She knows right when the D showed up at the center of the cube. She knew right when it showed up.
Okay, and then she did nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
She was firing at the ship the entire time they were going through. Did you not see that?
Well, yeah, going through it, but as soon as it got to the center, there was nothing. It was all...
There were probably no weapon systems.
No shields or anything? In case somebody had tried to fly a shuttlecraft or something through there?
Well, yeah. It's like the Death Star.
Yeah,
it's not like a little X-wing that made it in there. I mean, a freaking D made it to the center. Yeah, no.
A D so fat that it couldn't even fit in a ring at the damn ship museum. I just had to say that. Big old fat D.
And yes,
yes, Black. I agree that it was total bullshit to rename the Titan the Enterprise G.
Read.
They could have built a new ship. They could have taken something. I don't know. And I am going to have to argue. Foley said he may show up to the birthday stream Sunday or Saturday. I am going to have an argument with him over the Enterprise E. Because the throwaway line was they can't take the E, and then Worf said something. That it wasn't his fault. Plus, they were shutting down the Enterprise F. So that right there tells me the E was destroyed.
Yeah.
By the way, what happened to the F?
They never said what happened to the F. The F came out of space dock with Shelby. She bit the big one, and then nothing after that.
And my question is, was the F being Was the F retired or being retired at the
The
stage?
the F was being retired.
Oh, retired. Okay.
I didn't even look when they went back to the museum if they had it sitting there. I didn't even notice.
I didn't see it, but
the F.
The F. But it makes no sense that you can have something like the A last for 40 years, but within 30 years' time, they've already retired 2 Enterprises.
Yeah.
The E and the ridiculous. The A, I mean, the Enterprise seems like a ship of the damned ever since the A, anyway.
Yeah, but that would mean the F only lasted for what, maybe 10 or 15 years?
Yeah.
And it looked perfectly fine. I don't know why they'd be retiring it, but just stupid plot lines.
Wouldn't they have already been building a G if they were going to retire the F?
Yeah, they should have had another one almost ready instead of just renaming the Titan.
Exactly. I mean, it just seems like a huge downgrade to me.
But this entire 3rd season was a middle finger to the 2nd season, which I am happy about.
Oh, the Q thing. Yeah, I mean, I knew Q.
Well, no, it was more just than Q. It was the Borg plot line from season 2 got wiped out. Q's death got wiped out. Like it never happened.
I don't know how it erases what happened with the Borg, but I mean, I could see the Q part.
Because they stated last week that they hadn't seen the Borg in over a decade.
Yeah, but Talos went on record that was not the Borg. On Twitter, he was talking about how that was we have rogue factions of everything. We got rogue changelings. We got rogue Borg. We got
you believe everything Metalis says on his damn Twitter?
The Metalis can suck my.
Those Borg were from apparently another universe / timeline. So, yeah, I guess it works, but
it's still Borg.
Another convenient story thing.
They're still Borg, though.
Right.
Well, yeah, but it's no different than the Suliban and the Suliban from the Cold War. They're not just Suliban. So I can see that. That's maybe not my biggest Eve, but
yeah, I just took it to mean that they were talking about the main collective. But
well, how many times is the main collective going to get wiped out, or the main Borg Queen going to get wiped out? How many Borg Queens are there? For crying out loud!
This is the last time because I'm tired of seeing Borg stories.
I mean, every time, every
3-dimensional.
Every time they wipe out a Borg Queen, a new one pops up.
And there is still the Jurassic Borg Queen somewhere, maybe.
Since when does infrared? Since when does a cloaking device stop a jamming? A signal like that? That made no sense. It's line to sight. So if we cloak, we get our ship back. Bullshit.
Well, it still made no sense to me that 100-and-some-year-old cloaking device would actually work. It still makes no sense that the fucking cloaking device would have been on the bird of prey at the museum. Made no damn sense to me anyway. Makes no damn sense to me that there would be damn torpedoes at a museum.
And where was Guinan? Dear God.
She was cloaked.
Would like to have seen Guinan again. She was cloaked, yeah.
Guinan actually put on so much weight, she was one of the moons that was floating around Jupiter.
Oh, look.
She actually became the new starbase.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all agree that the whole cloaking.
She was the new starbase.
Was convenient. I mean, like we said, there's lots of conveniences in this, but the way they left it last episode with them having to have to fight the entire fleet, and it was kind of obvious that things were going to have to be very convenient for them to be able to get through this without being blown up and having to try to throw 2 seconds into the episode.
And then they just completely bypass the fleet and go straight to Jupiter. And the Borg didn't seem to want to stop her. No, the Borg Queen just thought she was, let them in. They can't do nothing.
I love how you can use, I could think of a lot better, more accurate words than conveniences.
No, it's just stupid plot devices from stupid writers.
No. Oh, God. And those teleporting beams at the beginning, that cracked me up.
No Janeway. No, nothing like that. That would have made sense.
No. I figured they would put her in this one.
They did have Tuvok back, Barclay. Like I did say, since Russ already broke it 2 weeks ago that he'd be in 2 episodes, so we knew Tuvok would show up.
Now, what was the Changeling still doing on Earth a year later? Like,
yeah, you would have think that
as soon as the Borg finished, they'd be gone.
Yeah, you would have think they would have went into hiding and got the hell out of there instead of sticking around.
And what the hell? You were a crewman? Like, you're a fucking changeling. What the hell? You were supposed to know everything. Like, you purposely got transported to get caught? I mean, that transporter scene was like, that was designed that, hey guys, you're about to go into a transporter and we're going to fix you. Like, you went into it knowing, and then you got caught.
Yep, Tuvok did look weird with the ears that he had this time around.
Oh God, those ears were so pointy.
Just like humans, they get bigger with age.
I don't think they've done a very good job with any of the alien makeup in all of New Trek.
I will say I did watch the trailer for Strange New Worlds, and the Klingons at least didn't look half bad.
They looked ridiculous. They looked like Comic-Con versions of the Klingons.
Well, at least they're not the freaking Klingorks.
Yeah, but why? They're not even supposed to have bumpy heads in this time period, though.
No. See, this is where I've had to get in arguments with people. You go back and watch the Enterprise episode. It was the colony that had the flat foreheads without ridges. There were still rigid Klingons around.
Yeah, I know they said that, Deej, in that episode of Enterprise, but clearly, if you in TOS, there was 0 bumpy head Klingons, and apparently, the people in that era had never seen a bumpy head Klingon, so it doesn't really make that much sense. I know they tried to retcon it, but they didn't do a very good job.
Well, I thought between Enterprise and what they did on Deep Space Nine, you put them both together, it kind of flattens it all out.
I really don't care either way, but I know that's what a lot of people are going to complain about.
But I've had many, many, many arguments on Twitter today with people saying that that time period should have had no Klingons with ridges because they all got the augment virus. No, they did not all get the augment virus. It was only the colony.
It was a lot of them, but millions, but that's it.
And
it just I can't because there's no way every Klingon that we saw in the TOS era came from that colony.
Those millions.
Another thing I can nitpick is, like listening said in the chat. Okay, so the son of Chekhov said, "Stay away from Earth." The Starfleet had been taken over. Where was the counterattack by Vulcan, Klingons, what was left of Romulans, Andorians, Ferengi? You would think they would have mustered some kind of a counterattack to try to stop them.
Well, I mean, I kind of figured they wouldn't do it anyway, but it was kind of ridiculous that no one was there. And I guess you could just say there just wasn't enough time to mount a fleet and have them come to Earth. Was what, a matter of hours at the most, maybe?
Yeah, but at least Vulcan and Andoria are only a couple hours away. They could have managed a bunch of ships to come try to help. And Romulans are living all over the Federation now, so you'd think some of them could have at least showed up. Hell, it would have gave the bad guy Romulans that are still out there running around a chance to show up just to try to decimate Starfleet then and there too for themselves.
Well, at least we know you can open up a trans warp conduit within a gas giant. Right? Isn't that what they said?
No, they were just hiding in the gas giant.
Well, this one they said they transwarped into the damn planet.
Well, they said something about had built a transwarp conduit inside the gas giant, which makes no sense because there should have been stations around Jupiter that could have monitored all that too.
We had Jupiter station should have been there.
Yeah, there was freaking stations on Mars and everything else that could have monitored all this stuff too.
Yeah, how a Borg cube could just sit inside the Sol system is ridiculous. Like, we're supposed to believe, we can't find changelings. Oh, we can't find Borg. Oh, we can't find... Like, what can't they do anymore? Like, what? Are you kidding me? A cube that's that size? I mean, that thing was like a super mega cube. I mean, we're getting into, like, Power Ranger pronouns here.
And Black, we've had that nitpick, too, about why in the hell would the entire fleet be together? That made no goddamn sense either. You're going to pull off your ships from the borders? Because people might say, oh, we're at peace with the Klingons. We're at peace with Romulans. No, there's still Cardassians. There's still the Breen. Still many out
you're
there.
Right. There was no Borg on that cube. Like, they were all dead. Mostly dead.
Well, mostly they're dead, and she's eating them to stay alive. What the hell?
Yeah. Assimilation isn't our future. Evolution is our future. It's like fucking shit, dude. Just completely destroy what the Borg were. And she was talking about how, like, I guess she was mentioning that one part when she was talking to Picard.
Okay, hold on. We got to wish a happy 1 billionth birthday to Michael J. Crawford, the anti-trekker. Happy birthday, sir.
So I just watched.
Excuse me, sorry. Oh shit!
I just watched episode 10. So here's my review.
Yes.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, wrong one. This is the one. Now do it.
Here's my review.
There's
my review right there.
There's the review.
Camera there. So, with my apologies to Joseph, who probably loved it, and
Cinnabon likes it too.
I liked it. I can't say I love it. I loved it. I liked it. It was,
You really liked it? So you liked that the Enterprise is literally a freaking X-Wing now?
Yes.
You were not here before. This was the
Sonics.
only nitpick that I actually had, is that the Borg cube is right now probably on growth hormones.
It's not only that, it is literally Death Star 2. It's just Death Star 2 from Return of the Jedi.
That's what I called it.
And it's just hey, let's take the Death Star, except make it a square. That'll be clever.
Last week was let's do Battlestar Galactica in Star Trek, and now this week it's Star Wars in Star Trek.
And by the way, wasn't it great that they explained why Vadic had to cut off her hand in order to talk to the Borg?
I never figured they would explain that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Or how the team moves better than the Defiant.
Huh?
Or how the D is more maneuverable than the Defiant.
Well, that's
now?
the D is literally an X-wing fighter.
Yeah,
so, and now Dork Knight is texting me like, oh, he's probably thinking I'm sure he is like literally having an orgasm all over himself. Let's see.
And Beverly with those phasers, man. Oh my!
Yeah,
Lord.
I know. Beverly can
funny.
outshoot Worf now.
Oh yeah, and I love their whole explanation. Well, it's been a long 20 years. It's like, oh, shut up. So, and you went from being a tactical doctor to awesome tactical officer because it's been a long 20 years. Shut up.
Just go back to episode 1. She was shooting like a pro there.
You know what? In every other episode of TNG, she's like, oh, no, we can't use violence. Violence is bad. Oh, no, Jean-Luc, we don't want to hurt anybody. Never, ever, ever. We don't want to hurt.
She killed her lover.
Now it's like, kill, kill, kill. Yes, kill. She is like the most bloodthirsty person on the show now. And
she literally killed the ghost she was having intercourse with.
Yeah,
so it's not like
Danny is crying right now because he thought it was so good.
I don't think it was that good.
Yeah, wait, did Danny say that, or is that a joke?
No, he literally just he wants the link to this stream. He says,
give it to him. I gotta hear what he says.
All he's got to do is pop in here. It's pinned to the top.
But he does. I don't think he knows your channel. So I'll get it here in just a second. I'll just send him the link to the YouTube stream so he can go there and then see the link. Copy that. Go to his Twitter.
The best.
I already sent it to him.
Oh, you did?
The best thing.
Yeah,
the best thing I can say is that this was a whole FU to season 2.
This was an FU to Star Trek.
Yeah, but it was definitely an FU to Kurtzman with the end credit with Q.
Well, no, because they acknowledged Q died, but then he just, you think so linearly, because, this is obviously Q from before he died.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I don't think it was.
Q travels.
He literally said that. He said, you think so linearly.
Yeah, so this is just Q before he died.
That's possible.
Yeah, and
definitely possible.
And I'm sorry, and the Borg Queen being all drained and all that.
You know what's funny, man. I didn't know you were talking about. Is Deej LDG the same thing?
No.
Deej is the bunny rabbit guy right above you.
Sorry.
Yes, and I got to change my name again.
No. Let's get this straight. I am the pink bunny, and then we have Bunny Man, who is Cinnabon.
Right. Am I the only one that I was crying for the solid last 20 minutes of this episode?
You're the only
yes.
I will admit, I cried a little bit. This garbage.
I'm still.
I cried a little bit because it was so bad.
I cried for Star Trek.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mourned for the passing of Star Trek. Yes. I'll see me and LDG agreeing. That's how bad this was.
This is. Planets aligned right now. I mean,
the funniest thing was seeing that fat D that couldn't even fit in a ring.
Yeah, the fat D that couldn't fit in a ring, maneuvering better than the Millennium Falcon. That was great.
I swear, you guys have no soul.
I swear that
I'm a goddamn wreck, dude.
Like seeing the D pulling like a Fast and Furious move to beam them up. I wanted to just. I literally want to
remind me of
the only
dude,
thing
sometimes you just got to suspend disbelief, and you know what? I think it's because you're. I think it's because you're a TOSer and you're older than me. And when Next Gen came out, I was freaking 8 years old, and I grew up with that shit.
You know what? That's great. I don't care.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I know you don't.
Listen,
care.
The only thing missing from that scene was literal fire trails coming from the nacelles.
No, you know what they needed
was,
and I think I'm going to do this, is re-edit that shot so that when it pulls up, you hear.
Man, I'm in such disbelief. I really am.
The thing that I appreciated the most was the little nod towards the actor who played Chekhov in the JJ verse. They gave him a little nod.
Yeah, Anton Chekhov. Yeah, that was cool.
Chekhov.
President Anton Chekhov, right before he got killed.
Yeah.
But hey, man, the return of Q, how fucking dope was that? Or freaking dope? I don't know.
Stupid.
Oh God.
I mean, it's cute.
I don't know if I can join you tomorrow, Michael. Like, because
don't worry, I'll probably be dead from the surgery, so don't stress. It'll just be you and Jason.
That's fucked up. Don't say that. Jesus, man, don't put that in the ether. What's wrong with you?
And wait a minute, what's wrong with you, dork? You came up here and you didn't even wish him a happy birthday.
It is 420.
Is it your birthday?
I told him happy. Yeah, he shares a birthday with Hitler.
You're born on 420.
Well, yeah, he shares a birthday with Hitler, and I told him
exactly. Wow.
Yeah, and I told him already. That's why he shaves everything but the mustache. You know, he's like so afraid of being compared to Hitler. He doesn't even have a mustache. It's everything but the mustache.
No,
well,
I
Salty Alicia made it.
What my wife likes, the wife that I've been with for 30 years, and I've been happily married. That's why. Because
man, was anybody in here like actually let's just say like an original, like their first like I don't know, like love TNG? Anybody here?
Like, hello, me.
I grew up on TOS.
And you so you're with Michael Crawford. So LD, you really
my first
none of this hits you
TNG.
in the none of this hits you in the feels.
The only good part about this was
garbage. He was saying it was garbage before it even came out.
Dude, I enjoyed what little member berries they didn't turn into lemons. Okay, that's it. I enjoyed a little bit of what they did, but
I'm
overall,
sorry, man. All of it was great.
Like, was garbage, dude.
Oh God,
MacGuffin, crazy,
you're batshit crazy.
Free ride,
right,
pass, go, collect all your. No.
George, Joseph and I both enjoyed it. It wasn't the greatest episode, obviously. I don't think we both thought it was great, but we both enjoyed it. It did what it set out to do, which is close out the series. So,
well, it would have set out
so messed up.
This series, here's my problem, Cinnabon, is that this series as a whole has completely taken a dump on the ethos of TNG. And I'm talking about TNG here. I'm not talking about TOS. Yes, I'm a TOS fanboy. I fully admit that. But this isn't a TOS show. This is a TNG show. And the ethos of TNG has always been about the value of human life from a humanistic perspective. And this show craps all over that left and right. And so this show just shows the value of the lives of people you care about. But if you don't care about them, F them. And so, and that's why, I mean, and what happened to Klingon honor? Now it's like, at least I'll give Worf this much. And here's a big plus for this episode. Here you go, Danny. I will give the episode a +1 bonus because for the first time in this entire series, Worf faced an opponent from the front.
Yeah. That 30 seconds of the Borg fight was actually that
was the first time that was the first time that Worf actually didn't start off a fight by stabbing someone in the back. So good for you, Worf.
Yeah. And he did it without phasers.
He actually had a phaser with him.
Did you just like?
I did like that line. Swords are fun. That was cute. I like that.
Let's let Positive have a chance because
I'm sorry.
Patiently. Positive, go ahead.
Hey, Positive.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. I can't wait to hear it. Go ahead.
Quiet down, then.
Yeah, to me, the best part was them playing cards at the end. The original PNG crew, obviously. And I did like Q at the end because Q was at the beginning, so why shouldn't he be at the very end? And he's going to continue to poke his little business into each Picard, I guess, from here on out, future, basically.
May I ask a question? I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, by the way, because I like the Q thing too, and I agree with what you said. Okay, how many people here? Because I don't know, like, how many of you guys were like Shaw fans?
Well, I was.
I like Shaw. I like Shaw.
And I said Shaw was going to be in this episode, and it was. Granted, it was.
Well, yeah. But before we get into that, but like, I'm just trying to get a feed on the panel here. Who did or did not like Shaw? Like,
I liked him.
Until they ruined
I
him.
related to him, and he was designed to represent the audience.
Yeah. So my buddy Kadish was so pissed they killed him. He just like went on. I can't wait to see what he actually thinks about this last episode. But I'm sorry, man.
That's not true.
I'll hand over. Hold up. Let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can shit on this episode some more. When I saw his the thing Tuvok showed to Seven.
Yeah, her review. Basically.
Dude, I couldn't help it, man. I watched Voyager in real time with my oldest son, and I love these shows so much, dude. That shit got me. Because that was a really good scene. What did you guys think of that scene? If nothing else, Michael, come on, have a soul. Like, what did you think of that scene?
Well, first of all, I want to correct you on one thing, because and this is something that pissed me off when I watched the Salty Nerds. Kadish was not angry that they killed off Shaw. He was angry in how they killed off Shaw.
Okay. So, my bad. No, you're right. I apologize. Okay. You are correct.
As far as that scene, I thought having Tuvok and Seven together was great. I thought that Shaw recommending her for promotion was great.
And he called her Seven in it.
Yes, and that I thought was BS crap and should have been cut. That was one of the worst parts of the entire series.
That I got to agree with too, because Shaw refused to call her Seven until he was laying there on the floor,
and he shouldn't have even done it then.
But even at that point, he wouldn't have left a review for her calling her Seven.
Yeah, so we're seeing that Shaw reluctantly called her Seven while he was dying.
First of all, there was no reluctance in his voice,
but he
in that moment.
Recorded the thing saying, "Oh yeah, well, really, her name is 7 of 9," which means that he was just calling her Hanson just to be a jerk.
All right, look, so Michael.
Yes.
I love you. Tomorrow, I still got to make our thumbnail, by the way. If you have any clever ideas,
better hurry, because
if you got any effing
no, in a few hours I have to go into the surgery. So if you don't hurry,
well, if you just give me, it'll take me like if you tell me now, I'll make it while we're farting around. No, like give me something. No, man, because you're the one that's snarky and shitty, and you'll have the best click. No, you'll have the best. You'll have the best.
Snarky. You didn't have to say the other thing.
Sorry, but you'll have the best clickbait line. You know what I mean? Like Matt does over there with these guys. Yeah. Like I need your hatred. I need you to feel it flow through you.
Now did the Goofy and I'm going to call this Goofy recreation of basically. Which Star Wars movie, it doesn't matter where they go inside and shoot the
Return of the Jedi, yeah.
Okay.
Excuse you, you filthy animal. No, I thought it was amazing. I'm sorry. I'm a simpleton. When Troy's like, "Why do I sense joy?" and then they show Data laughing, having fun.
Oh my God.
See, you hated it. I love that shit. I slopped that shit up with a spoon. Sorry.
They basically recreated Return of the Jedi by going inside of the Death Star. You go inside the door tube and then you blow away the thing in the middle. That's it.
Death Star.
What's funny, Michael?
Exact principle as Star Wars.
Is I thought of you, and I'm a fool for thinking what I thought. But you know how we were all complaining yesterday about how there weren't any Star Wars in the Star Wars show when this episode really should have, or this being the Mandalorian.
There was no Star Trek in Star Trek?
Oh no, man! I was thinking there was way more Star Wars. Hold up, there was way more Star Wars in Star Trek than there was in Star Wars, especially this episode. Dude, I thought it was badass, man. Like I loved it.
Star Trek isn't about like.
I know that's not what it's about.
What we got is Star Wars.
No, okay. Here's your thumbnail.
We didn't get Star. Okay, go ahead.
Here's your thumbnail.
Yeah.
The Return of the Jedi Prize.
Hold up. Okay, maybe.
Yeah,
we'll workshop this. Hold up. I'm writing it down. I like that.
They do have a precedent as far as renaming the Defiant from whatever ship it was before.
Oh no! Oh, did you guys hate that? That choked me up when I saw that they renamed the Titan the G.
That was stupid. That was
Why
stupid.
was it stupid? Why?
I was expecting a new ship, but
even Captain Foley is going to hate this one because he said last night on his stream when I was sitting around there that there was no way in hell they would be dumb enough to rename the Titan Enterprise G.
Well, I guess how prolific is he? And I'm one of the dumbasses that loved it. And Terry Matalas is God. And I have not seen 12 Monkeys yet, but I'm binging that next now that Picard is over. Because and Terry, I trust, man. I thought this entire season was amazing.
Entire season was garbage.
Yeah, hey, man, that's so weird. We are so diametrically opposed to this. I mean, we usually,
why would you? First of all, why would you say, "Oh, yeah, it's so awesome that we take a ship that is basically an outdated"?
Because it already looked like the freaking Enterprise,
it looks like
traps. It looked like the Enterprise with traps and big swole chest.
This was the dumbest part of the episode when Worf was freaking snoring. I mean, come on. That was dumb.
I don't understand why they did that, although my first thought was, he did get shot a few times by the Borg. Maybe he needs medical attention, but they just played it off as a gag. So,
Worf was mostly just used as comic relief. Anyway.
No, but he was the straight guy that was funny without being funny, and that's what made it so damn good. But I don't know, man. This hit on every beat for me. I guess, I don't know, man.
You're a TNG fanboy.
I can't wait to talk to my mom. I bet my mom loved it, and that's all that matters, Mike. Because if my mom and I agree, then you're wrong.
If your mom loved it, that's fine. I'm not.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her yet because she hasn't even watched it yet because
Return of the D.
Yeah, but
it would. Return of the D. No, that's a little no.
Return of the D.
No, I mean that's good. Whoever said that, but nah. I mean, I'm like the return of the
suck my D.
The jet. No, come on, man.
Enterprise.
Oh, you give me shit. You're a Christian chant. The D strikes back.
It's too bad. Watch the D.
Oh, that's not bad. The D strikes back. I'm writing that down.
We're not on Salty's channel though, so that's why we can do what we want because I'm not monetized and we just get away with wherever the hell we want.
Oh, good. Well, then, Michael, I'm going to unload on you all the shit I've wanted to say to your motherfucking ass this whole time. I'm going now, man. No, I'm just kidding.
That's fine. I was in the army.
Yeah, so I got the Return of the Jet. I don't know if I wrote this right. I wrote Jedi Prize. Is that what you said? The Return of the Jedi Prize?
The Return of the Jedi Prize.
All right, and then I have the D Strikes Back. What other brain or workshop ideas we got here? Because those are two solid maybes, I can make either one of them work.
I would say from D to G.
Something with G Spot would be funny, but probably not.
That would be a bit much.
Yeah, the thumbnail is for your channel, so yeah.
We have Rafi and Seven.
Yeah, and by the way, what's with Rafi being the first officer? Why would suddenly Rafi be? I mean, you talk about nepotism. It's like, oh yeah, my ex-girlfriend will make her the first officer for no reason whatsoever.
Well, no. First of all, she clearly took a demotion. And second of all, that's been hold up. That's a thing in the military. Like when that happens, like sometimes one spouse, so they can be with
They're not married.
I get. I'm just trying. Never. You know what? Never mind.
You can't have two of the same family member.
And how did Picard Jr. get through Starfleet in 1 year to be an ensign?
Because he got advanced, they explained it.
Yeah, they did at least have some dialogue for that. But no, with the Rafi thing, it was pure nepotism. Because even if you want to argue even if they were married, it would be inappropriate because you can't have spouses in the same chain of command. That would be a violation.
Basically, he's a J.J. Kirk clone.
Yeah,
basically, is what happened.
Yeah, you watch. If next year they're going to do a
He'll be
new
captain.
series starring Jack, and
Yeah.
he'll be a captain already.
Yeah, be captain of the H.
Yeah, and then the year after that, they'll have the Enterprise I. By the year
Hey,
20.
man, here's what I don't understand. For a Christian, you are really fucking cynical, dude. You just like, do you not like joy? Do you not like to feel happiness? I mean, do you just have to find the bad in everything? Because I feel like that's what you do, man.
You know,
Come
it's
on.
funny because I would say the same thing about you and the Mandalorian.
Fair enough. We're just so like opposite on these. Like, it's so weird.
You could say like what it
Because the
says in
Mandalorian was garbage. You can't convince me otherwise.
you
So
can call
whatever.
it like what it says in the chat, from the D to the next G generation.
Whoa, did I? Where? I don't see that in the chat. Who said that?
There, I'll put it on the screen.
The next. Oh, hold up. Final. Not. Oh, I thought you were coming up with another clever thumbnail. I thought you said something to the, from the D
Yeah, by
to
the way,
the.
why was this episode called The Last Generation? It's not like everybody died.
Dude, but come on, man.
And I know
if you looked at my, so I was tweeting in real time, and I was like, when Picard turns around before he leaves that bridge, like early on in the episode, and he says his goodbye. I was like, oh man, that foreshadowing has me worried now. I literally tweeted that.
I was not worried at all.
Oh, dude, I thought for sure they were going to kill Picard.
The second he said that,
and for a little bit,
not going to kill him.
For a little bit, I really thought Riker was going to... dude, I was bawling when I thought Riker was going to die. And then when Troy jumped up and was like, I know where they are.
Riker was going to die?
Why you got to pick on me, man? I got lost in the moment. That's what you're supposed to do.
Salty. Dork Knight has been in Bird of Prey soybeans too much.
Yeah.
That's why he's crying.
I don't even know what that means.
Hey, Dork.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to ChatGPT.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. I'm going to kick you out of here.
The next generation... Just let me finish. The next generation
ChatGPT is wrong.
Star challenge.
Okay.
Guess I'm ready to pick up.
Look, the
All right, buddy, man.
ChatGPT...
Get some rest.
Later, Bunny.
Oh, bye, Bunny. So, I can't remember whose show I was on where I bitched about this because Michael doesn't like me talking about Chat GPT, but maybe it was on his. But I got into a 4-hour argument with Chat GPT because I knew more about Next Gen than it did. It kept giving me wrong information, and I was trying to use it as a shortcut, and it was making my life more difficult. But because I was being stubborn and trying to teach this motherfucker Star Trek, but it wouldn't learn, and it was so infuriating to me. And I've saved the whole thread because I'm thinking about making a blog post or a video out of it because it's hilarious. It's like it refused to learn correct information about a 30-year-old TV show or a 35-year-old TV show. It makes no sense.
And answering the chat, yes, we already know they killed Picard in season 1, but we get tired of talking about a bot Picard, so we just named it Picard to make it.
And look, man, they killed Data twice, teased killing him thrice. You know, like I actually was kind of, I really honestly thought they were gonna, and I probably wouldn't even cried over that, but I did think they were gonna kill Picard. I just felt like that was a natural. I mean, because the dude's like 108. I mean, there's no point.
I predicted it from episode 1 when he was saying his goodbyes to Laris and how he was supposed to meet her on the planet and everything else. I kind of thought they were going to kill him off clear back then.
Yeah. I mean, like, I really did think this was going to be like he was going to be dead by the end, and
they were going to pull a Logan on it, and they were like they killed off Professor X. They were going to kill him off too. That's what I thought. I was wrong.
But I was, I was wrong too. But I was right about it being the board.
Subverted your expectations.
So that was cool.
By sucking even more.
I feel better now. I'm actually glad most of you didn't like it, and I'm glad, Michael, you feel the way that you do, because when I texted you, man, I was sobbing like a baby.
Yes, I know. I have the text. I'll be saving that.
Thank you. And now I'm not. I'm not crying anymore. I feel better about myself, so I'm good. I'm good about that.
They revealed everything in episode 1 at the very beginning. Because they had the D there, so you knew that was coming back. They had him explaining his board thing.
The fat one? Oh, yeah, dude, no. So I was talking about this earlier on Salty's channel. when we were going over Mandalorian because I rewatched all of Picard today while I was mostly listening to it because I have like a 4-monitor setup. So I have my Photoshop here, I got my browser here, I got my long thing of code here, and I usually play something on this one here because it's in my periphery and I can just listen. If I need to turn every once in a while I can, but I spend most of my time centered like this, like with this monitor. And I forget the point. I'm just rambling. There was a point there, but I lost it.
That's what you get for puffing away while you're on the live stream.
Hey, you know what? We're not on yours. That's why I know I can. You don't mind, right? It's legal where I'm at, by the way, if that matters.
It's legal where I'm at too.
So is this okay with you? Do you mind?
I don't care. I'm not monetized. Okay. I'm in Illinois. It doesn't matter.
At least you said it right.
Well, of course, I live here. I should know how it's pronounced.
Drives me nuts when people pronounce the S.
Illinois.
You would be one of those people.
I don't. I know. I say Illinois.
That's why we're not letting you in this state. You can't have the good weed. You can't come up here.
On the bright side, Danny, you can hope there's about a 5% chance that the surgery today will make it so I can't talk for a couple of weeks.
Well, I don't want that, dude. See, you think no. So you really don't understand. You think I would I'm a glutton for punishment. It's been my whole life. And
don't get excited. He's already recorded a whole bunch of phrases. He'll just push buttons.
Yeah. See, even if that's
like
all.
Grogu.
No.
Yeah, he'll be Grogu.
I enjoy our, even though, when we disagree, it's not an act. I mean, we really disagree, but we both kind of, at least I do. And I just assume you do. We both kind of ham it up a little bit to make it, so, but when we agree, those few moments when we agree, like, last week's Mandalorian, it is a nice feeling though, right? It gets you warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum.
Why is it Din Grogu instead of Grogu to Jaren?
Well, Jaren is Din's
What is that comment? What is Canuckistan? I'm not in Canada. Is that what he's trying to say? That's Jason. Jason's the Canadian. I'm in Vegas, baby. I'm in Sin City.
No, but they go by their first name?
Yeah, I guess in at least with the Mandalorians, their first name was what to us would be your last name.
Yeah. Okay, so it's backwards.
Yeah. So
it's really kind of like Rolaren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, it's Luke is his last name and Skywalker is his first name, right?
It would just be like if I was walking around saying my name is Crawford Michael.
Rolaren is all we had to say, guys.
So my son is Crawford Joshua, but so Din Grogu as opposed to Din Djarin, and that's fine. I kind of like the adoption scene. I thought that was cool. And I really like the fact that they showed the new, like the Alliance has that new fighter, the D-Wing with the big saucer section and the warp nacelles on it. It can fly into the Death Star and blow it up, even though it can, and it only needs 5 people, and they're supposed to have a crew of 1,000.
Yeah. So, hey, so it's 1:45 my time, and you want a thumbnail? Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I've got 2 ideas, Michael. I want a hateful. What's that?
Yeah, before he started when Troy got up to go to the pilot's seat, I thought for sure she was going to crash the ship.
Crusher? Admiral Crusher? Really? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Admiral. Everybody's got to be an admiral now.
I'm gonna go work on the thumbnail. You never gave me anything snarky.
I'm leaving in a couple hours, so you better hurry up.
All right, I'll work on it.
If you want that credit, if you use
the hey Danny, back. If you want to be safe when you email it out, send it to both me and Jason.
Oh, I did last time. I will. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jason can attach it if I have to go to the.
If you're incapacitated, incapacitated.
And thank you for the one. Oh, I see you put the banner up with the 1 billionth birthday thing. Thank you so much.
I I was waiting for you to say I hate you.
I've been waiting for you to post one of your happy birthday videos for me.
Well, the day's not over with. It's just started.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Are you going to make sure to make it a 1 billionth birthday video?
I don't know yet, but it probably will involve the pink bunny, so...
Okay. Are you sure it's not going to be a gray bunny?
No, it won't be the gray bunny.
No,
I'm still technically younger than you.
Uh-huh.
Even though only by a couple of years.
Oh, so you're 999,999,998.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Somebody got a alert.
All right.
It was positive.
So
Probably
is this
Amber Alerted.
actually like on YouTube or anything right now?
Yes, we're on YouTube right now.
We're on YouTube right now. We are streaming live.
How do I find it where it's at? I should at least
you just look for Deej Odyssey.
Yeah. DEEJ space ODYSSEY. That's his channel.
Oh, hey, he pre-populated. Look at that.
Yeah.
Should be the only pink bunny one you find.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just subscribed. I mean, sorry I wasn't
thank you.
already.
Yes, and you can thank me for the existence of Deej.
So see, I'm only 5 subs away from 800 now.
Yeah, you're doing good,
There
man.
you go.
I'm closing
All right.
in.
So I'm gonna go work on this thumbnail now.
All right, talk to you later, Danny.
All right, man. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Unfortunately,
now that Danny is stoned out of his mind, we'll see what kind of a thumbnail he can come up with.
unfortunately, you're not going to be in condition for the big birthday party this weekend.
Yeah, well, you never know. We'll see. They say with this surgery, it's like in and out. Like I should be fine by tonight.
I think I even got Foley talked into coming over and drinking with us Saturday night.
Oh, really? Well, if Foley's coming over to drink, I definitely gotta get better. I would definitely show up to a party to see Foley drunk.
I hope he doesn't end up shirtless again, but
Well, I could see
don't
like
know.
Foley during the summer throw a little bit of oil on him, and he is a slip and slide.
But I've kind of angered him so much lately. He curses at me now, which is kind of fun.
Well, that's good. He should be cursing at you.
LDG, go to bed. This is late for you.
I already slept. I slept yesterday.
Bird was here briefly, but he took off to go make his review.
I even got another.
So what did Bird think of it? I didn't hear.
Bird said at the beginning of this that it was so well done that he apologized to Terry Metalis and he would offer to suck his dick.
Are you serious, or are you just?
No, I am serious. That's what he said at the beginning of the stream.
Fuck you, Terry Metalis.
Go back, LDG, and clip that spot so we can play it. Where Bird said
when he was like, "You suck his dick."
Yeah,
that is hilarious.
And then he said, "No, not real. I'm not serious. I'm just." But after he said it though, so I don't know.
But did he like it then? Seriously?
No, actually, he didn't like it at all.
Okay, because I was going to say I was so angry about it. I'd be surprised that Bird. I could see if Bird thought it was okay, but I'd be surprised if he really loved it.
But I think at the point when he said he'd suck his dick, that's when he woke Mama Prey up, because then I heard Mama Prey in the background, and then he goes, "I gotta go.
My son's gay now. Ah.
I gotta go."
Yeah.
It was funny.
I gotta go, guys. It was fun. I will.
Hey,
probably
Joseph,
come
always a
next time.
pleasure. Good luck in a few months when you're never getting any sleep again.
It's like 4 months away. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
4 months will fly by quick.
Yeah, the time, and trust me, like you think you just wait till your wife starts making strange demands of you. Just please, whatever you do, whatever she asks for, no matter how stupid it is, just do it. Okay. No matter what it is, like if she says, honey, you know what? You need to go and get some chicken feathers and glue them to my toes. Just do it.
And if you come on my live stream holding the baby to show off and she walks behind you in a towel, just know what happens.
I know what happens. You will clip it.
That's right.
Well, if you look anything like that picture, then yeah, I think we're all going to be clipping that.
Okay, somebody can call him. Anybody knows Terry, tell him I'm sorry. I'll suck his dick.
There it was. Bird saying it.
Oh, that's just Bird. Bird wants to suck some dick.
Hey, LDG, we're gonna have to make a super chat out of that for the drink stream Saturday night.
Okay, gentlemen, need to drop. Take care.
All right, take it easy, Yosef.
God. We can use that for a fun chat drinking thing. Every time you hear Bird say sucks a dick, you have to take a shot or something.
I don't know. Did they to either of you guys did they explain to you satisfactorily any of the stuff from this season?
No.
Sorry, what was the question? I was saving a file.
No, they never said who the face was, even though I guess it was the Borg Queen.
Oh no, it was the Borg Queen.
They never explained.
Which explains why she looked the way she did, right? Because she looked all messed up and stuff.
Right, but why does she look like that?
Because they couldn't afford the actress.
I heard it was because of what Janeway did.
Right, but they didn't say that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, if she is all messed up because of Janeway and her virus, that would make perfect sense. But for her to be like that and to not even mention Janeway?
No, all she mentioned was some sort of virus, and she was locked at the edge of the galaxy where she couldn't get to anyone to assimilate. It's like
they mentioned Voyager without mentioning Voyager, so they referenced
which is
both
a cheap shot
the
because they
virus,
mentioned Janeway a couple times in the series,
which they said they assimilated that, so that should have been nullified. They assimilated the armor technology and the virus. So why the hell is she still? That doesn't make sense.
But yeah, so we don't know why the Borg Queen was all jacked up. At least not. I mean, without making assumptions. I'm not saying we can't make reasonable assumptions about it. I'm saying they don't say it.
Okay, answer me this. If she specifically said that she heard no voices until at one point she finally heard Jack. Well, how the hell did she get in contact with these changelings in the first place then?
Right. And yeah, if she's all by herself, how is she powerful enough to even make a difference to the changelings?
That's what I'm saying. How did the Borg do any of this? How did the Borg do any of this with a dead cube? Like,
right. And why is the Borg cube suddenly so much bigger than it was before?
Big enough to make Jupiter look small.
You what?
Yeah, so I guess it was stuck inside of Jupiter this whole season, basically, huh?
Yeah, if you look at that one scene where they showed Jupiter like as a whole almost. Like,
well, they were showing the spot. No, they were showing the spot on Jupiter.
Yeah,
wasn't
I
showing
know, but
Jupiter
I'm saying
as a whole. Just
the way they showed it. I know it wasn't a hole, but I'm saying they made it look like Jupiter was smaller. The cube was so effing huge.
No, they just made the cube look like it was 5 times the size it should have been.
And compounded by the D flying through it.
Well, and why didn't they just detach the damn?
The D did fly through it, obviously.
Well, actually, they could have made it a little more tolerable if they detached the freaking saucer section before they flew into it.
Agreed.
Yeah, that would have made it more believable.
Yes.
Or you know what actually would have made more sense is how about you launch the freaking captain's yacht that we never got to see?
True.
That would, like if that were a super maneuverable ship that could make the flight, I would buy it. But to see the Enterprise D flying like a freaking X-Wing fighter, I mean, I literally busted out laughing during that scene.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry. I know Danny was crying because he thought it was the most beautiful thing ever. I thought it was the silliest thing I've seen.
I mean, remember the episode when they were trying to get out of the Dyson sphere? We could have used some of those maneuvers in that episode.
Well, at least that one they didn't. But in that they didn't show the Enterprise bobbing and weaving like a freaking X-wing.
Yeah, it was like a ship trying to do a 360 turnaround.
Right.
Yeah, it was like all slow motion and everything. And D wasn't pulling no G's. I mean, that shit was pulling
no G's.
And there's no way in hell I'm going to believe that the Titan could fly in front of the damn Armada and survive.
Right, not when the Excelsior was wiped out in 2 seconds. I mean, all they had to do was get one shot on the Titan, and the Titan would have been gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's
the line of sight crap was bullshit too.
That's superior plot armor syndrome.
And just to know, for those trying to come in, if I don't know you, I won't let you up on the chat.
Yeah, the cloaking device gimmick was made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, line of sight, really? So in the 25th century, the Borg transmission requires line of sight. What is it? An old radio?
Yeah, it's infrared.
And even then, I mean, a cloaking device doesn't mean you're still technically in line of sight. You're just not visible.
Yeah.
But your receiver is in line of sight.
Your receiver is still
receiving
the data.
Half of the plot that they put out there, they never really explained.
Yeah, it was all garbage. I'm sorry, man. Just
it was
plot devices and MacGuffin.
Once you started questioning the plot, that just threw in a member berry to make you forget about why you were questioning that particular part of the plot.
Was that Walter Koenig as Chekhov?
Yep.
It sounded like him.
Yep.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't see it in the credits, but okay.
I didn't pay too much attention to the credits that closely to see who all, but the voice, it was definitely Kano. It was Walter.
Okay. That's cool.
Is that really you down there, Bees?
That Bees?
I don't know, because it's a new account that I'm not sure.
You might have a new name. What is it called?
I'm...
What's the authentication name?
Heath Libby.
No. I don't think so.
Nah, it changed the name to Bees from
Bees can type. Bees can type in the chat. He's more than capable of typing in the chat.
Up it left. I thought so.
Yeah, and I love that, here we are 30 years after the Dominion War, and Admiral Crusher just got the brilliant idea of starting to scan for changelings. Like, maybe they should have done that during the Dominion War.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah, I was
especially when they went into the transporter knowing that was the reason why they were stepping into the transporter. It's not like that was a surprise transport.
Yeah. And listening says, if no Pavel Chekhov, yet son should be ancient too, should have been grandchild. Well, if you consider that, let's see, in TNG, we saw a very old McCoy still alive. And so if Chekhov, and men can have children all the way up to the day they die. So if Chekhov had a child, and keep in mind this was the president of the Federation, so I'm assuming that Anton Chekhov was not young. So if Anton Chekhov was at least 60 to 70 years old, that would mean that Pavel Chekhov was around 70 years old when Anton Chekhov was born. I don't think there's anything unfeasible about that.
No, and they did give a nod to Star Trek 4 with his little speech about stay away from Earth.
Well, yeah, it was almost the same message. You look like the police are about to throw you in cuffs there, LD.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was getting there at the lineup.
Yeah.
Actually, it kind of looks like the police officer's putting his flashlight in his face right now.
Right.
What are you doing outside this late?
And LD's going to be one of those jerks that you see on YouTube. I don't answer questions.
Don't need to. You can just fly.
Next thing you know, he's like got no teeth because he's been sucking on a baton.
Okay, Murder. Just double checking because there's been some impersonators going around. LDG
was that him?
It was him. Had an impersonator show up on an LDG stream trying to pretend to be me.
Oh, what'd they do?
Which wouldn't have gotten through if it wasn't for Tim's dumbass. He didn't double check the authorization.
Well, you let Tim run your chat, your stream?
I let everybody. Yeah, I have unlimited host on my stream.
Well, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I know. No argument there.
Yeah,
I keep telling him. I said I make it easy as pie. You click the 3 dots and you check the verification name. If it's not the same name, you know it's not the right person. Very simple, very easy. One click and look. And he just got all humpy dory because he loves Deej and just let the guy on, and then he got about half a second of porn.
Should have known better because I don't put my last name on the damn.
Yeah, that was obvious too. And I told Tim, it was obvious. It said Deej Odyssey with no spaces. Like, seriously, dude. Oh, you my bad, man. I'm sorry. All right.
What's up, Bees?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Bees. What's going on?
We're just talking about this last episode of Picard. How crappy it was.
Yeah, I bought a Motorola phone and it sucks.
But does it suck as bad as this last episode of Picard?
I haven't watched Picard.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. You've seen Star Trek The Next Generation, right?
I was more into Voyager.
Okay. But okay, so the Enterprise D.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine, have you ever seen Return of the Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you remember the scene of the Millennium Falcon flying into the Death Star to take out the main reactor?
I thought Luke did that.
No, remember it was Lando in the Millennium Falcon, and this is in Return of the Jedi, not the first Star Wars. In Return of the Jedi, Luke was fighting Vader.
They rebuilt the Death Star?
There was a second Death Star, and the Millennium Falcon was flying inside the Death Star, like inside the actual structure of the Death Star. You don't remember that?
No, I don't. Man, I was like a kid.
Man. Trying to think of how would you... Help me out here, Deej.
That's why I'm trying to think of what I could coordinate it with that a youngster.
Remember when James went in the peach? Is that funny? Really? I was
yeah, but he had to eat his way into that peach. Damn it!
It's not quite the same thing, LD. But
I'm trying to relate to
nice try.
to bees right now, man. I'm having a hard time.
So where is Picard? Is Picard on Netflix or what?
No, it's on Paramount.
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus.
No, I don't have that.
I don't get it.
Don't. It's not worth it. Though, since you do like Voyager, you probably like Picard because it has 7 to 9 in it.
Oh, she's hot.
Well, not so much anymore, but
yeah, back in the day she was.
And she's a lesbian now, so.
Bees, remember when Voyager went into that telepathic picture plant creature?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
No, but that's not the same thing, because we're talking about... I'm trying to describe, like, when you think about the Millennium Falcon and the X-Wings flying into the Death Star, how they had to be ultra super maneuverable.
Is Picard pretty good?
No,
it's absolute garbage.
Yeah, I can't think of a Voyager episode. Being
do any of you know about like law kind of stuff? I got a question.
No, this is a Picard stream.
Oh, never mind.
We're venting about this last episode of Picard. At least the only good thing we can say is it's over with now.
Yeah.
And we had our
But the best thing about
dreams
Picard
shattered.
this week was seeing the Strange New Worlds trailer.
I know Bird of Prey 5, he like nitpicks on shit.
Well, Bird was here earlier, and he's went off to go make his review and nitpicks. So that'll be up in the morning after the sun comes up.
Oh, they're supposed to launch the Starship.
Yeah.
And I can see it from my balcony tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Starlink, whatever, or the spaceship, whatever. It's going
maybe. Even
it got delayed. It got delayed one day.
Even Elon said on Twitter yesterday that it might or might not go up.
What are they? Oh, they're launching the Starship?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for Elon, I guess.
Yay.
Must be nice to be a billionaire.
I think he wants to be the first person to die on Mars.
Yvette says, Deej, could you please tell LTG I won't be in the backstage at 7 a.m. I'm working through my lunch to catch up. Picard did the Star Wars maneuver. No way can the D do that. Much love, all. Yeah.
No, the D can't do that.
And Professor Brainy Specs is in chat, and he's probably going to call me a shill again.
Oh, he's gonna. Let me apologize already, Professor Brainy Specs. I'm not ignoring you. I don't hate you. I think you're great. Oh, it looks like Danny did the thumbnail. Let's see what he managed to do here.
Oh boy. Well, let's see if he can find his way back. He might not find his way back.
Well, that's funny. He forgot to attach the thumbnail to his email.
well, see, we did let him smoke a little too much.
Yeah, I think he smoked just a little too much.
Oh, that reminds me. I got my medical marijuana license.
It says insert cool thumbnail here on your stream. Salty right now.
Yes, I know. I do that until he finishes the thumbnail.
Oh, okay.
That's on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the Millennium Falcon doing that.
So you got like a month and a half, Salty, to recuperate before Strange New Worlds starts.
Yeah, well, I'm actually looking forward to Strange New Worlds.
I'm not.
I know. That's because, you're a hater.
Well, most of it don't make any sense unless you put it in a different universe.
I agree that it should be a reboot. They should just call it a reboot because that's what it is. Or a different timeline or whatever they want to call it. If they want to keep one continuity, they should just call it a different continuity or a different timeline. But
I mean, if they put Kirk and Pike together at any point this season, then I call bullshit.
Raw, I will tell you, I rewatched the Menagerie, and not necessarily. There's nothing in there that says they never met.
I thought it was said that he met him when he handed over command.
No, he said he was there. When he said he was there when he was promoted to fleet captain.
I watched Pope's Exorcist the other day.
We're talking Picard. We're not talking.
Okay, I'll shut up.
The Star Trek stream.
Yeah, Voyager was my shit. I love Voyager, especially the intro music.
To me, Voyager was the worst of all the original episodes.
No way.
Yep. But it was better than Discovery, so I'll give it that.
And SG-1 Stargate, I love that.
Yeah, but that's not Star Wars. Professor says Kirk is asked if he ever met Pike. Kirk's response was they met when Pike was promoted to fleet captain. That Professor, that kind of sounds like a definite met one time.
Who's the people that die all the time? Red shirts?
That's not true either, because went back over all the series episodes and everything else, and blue shirts died more than the red shirts did. Now, I kind of like the way the Klingons look in the teaser for Strange New Worlds.
Well, they look like, well, the thing is that they're going to have to explain why there's 3 different types of Klingons, though.
Well, we already know why there's 2 types of different Klingons.
Right, but are they going to deal with the smooth-headed Klingons, too?
Well, that was already explained in... Smoothheads was already explained in Enterprise.
Right, but we haven't seen the smooth-headed since...
Enterprise.
Right.
But that's already kind of been taken care of. I want to see if they explain why there was the butt ugly Klingorks.
Yeah.
I think they just totally wrote that out, though, and they're not going to say anything about it, and we just never will see them again. I even suspect if you see a Klingon at all in Discovery, that you will see a normal-looking Klingon.
Right.
I think they finally figured out that was the wrong thing to do. I can't wait to see how Carol Kane's going to do her engineer. That could be funny.
Let's see. Download this. So he went with The D Strikes Back.
Yeah, good.
No shit. Now we're
like
going
a little recognition for that, Michael.
We're going to have to put up with LDG now. Well, I see they picked my title over yours, Deej.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think he could have. It's very generic looking thumbnail, but hey, whatever.
But we know how to handle LDG over here on this channel. If
I swear to God, if you play it, I'm out. I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back if you play it.
You get too big-headed, I know how to deal with your ass.
What's that?
Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall.
And see, he left.
Come on, you got to play the whole thing because it's such an awesome song.
I know, but people think it's so dark at the end.
I don't know why.
Good morning, Vietnam.
All right, we'll play the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Bounce, 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 bounce. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall.
That's right.
Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Bounce, 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 bounce. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Helps me forget about my cancer.
Art.
I tried to warn you, it was dark.
That should be a real commercial, I tell you. That's so awesome.
LDG's back. LDG actually paid me $25 not to play it for an entire week. That's how desperate he was to get away from it.
Can you give me that video? I'll start playing it every time I see LDG.
Even Bird downloaded the video.
Hey, LG, do you still have that Good Morning Vietnam?
Not on instant right now. No.
And hello 54.5. Hello Jedi Bill.
Did you put the thumbnail up?
No, we don't have to see it.
No, Michael, I want to see it. I'm looking at YouTube right now. I want to see it for myself.
I'm changing it now. Jeez, man. You know, Google, it takes them a few minutes before they actually update it.
We don't need you gloating, LDG. You gloat too much.
I'm not gloating. I want to see the thumbnail. That's it. I'm a graphics guy.
He wants to see that D.
Exactly.
He wants that D.
Yeah, he wants that D all over him.
I want to see how high Danny actually was. It might not even be the D on there.
Yeah,
no, the D's on there. It's just, like I said, it's a very generic looking thumbnail.
And I will say the creator that made the Titan, the guy that did the design, admitted that it was a cross between an Excelsior and the Enterprise C.
Hey, LD, maybe not put your face that close to the camera.
Booger. Get the booger out of your nose.
The 1701. What's the difference?
What's the difference between the 1701 and what?
And the D or whatever?
Well, for one thing, the D is fat and ugly.
Huge, fat, and ugly.
Yeah.
I got fired.
That's like saying what's the difference between a supermodel and Jabba the Hutt?
I got fired as Foley's friend again because I said the D was only one step better than the Enterprise J.
Well, you're right.
I have no idea what the fucking that means.
The Enterprise J is this huge, big, freaking hunk, ugly thing that we saw during Enterprise.
But they still call it Enterprise.
Well, each Enterprise is a different type of starship, and that's why they put an A or a B or a C or a D or an E after it. You had the original NCC 1701, and then there was the refit, which had an A at it, and then the Excelsior class had an Enterprise, which was the B. Well, Professor, we can't help that we're saying it's fat and ugly because it is fat and ugly.
Yeah.
There's no other way to describe it. I've hated that ship since the very first time I saw it when TNG came out. I hated that ship.
By the way, I have a question for Professor Brainy Specs. Since if you want to, since you think that if James Kirk meeting Pike at any time other than the moment that Pike is promoted to fleet captain is such a horrible thing that ruins the show, fine. Then why is it that you're okay with the Romulans having a cloaking device 100 years before the Romulans having a cloaking device? And why are you okay with the myriad of canonical problems with Star Trek The Next Generation, things like the Klingons being a part of the Federation, a few weeks before they were never a part of the Federation? Why are you okay with all that crap, but oh no, you can't have this mistake, you can just have all the other mistakes? I genuinely don't understand that. I understand you want it to be as close to accurate as possible.
Right,
I'm not going to be a Nazi about it. I'm just saying, I think there's a difference.
I've got a ton of things I can pick apart with Strange New Worlds.
Well, you could. There's plenty of things you can pick at, but it's like if you look at like most of my problems with Picard are not like Picard has canonical issues, but
so does Strange New Worlds,
huh?
So does Strange New Worlds.
Right. But that's not why I'm picking at Picard. I'm not going to sit there and say, well, actually, they have the wrong planet there, or, well, actually, they have the wrong thing. I'm not worried about that. While it's true that, it'd be nice if they got everything 100% accurate, they're never going to. I get that. However, my problems with Picard is more about the fact that they butcher the characters. That the fact that now all of a sudden Crusher is a killmonger and Worf stabs people from behind, and Picard doesn't care about the sanctity of life. That to me is more important than whether or not Khan was stranded on SETI Alpha 5 or SETI Alpha 6.
Oh, look, there's a drone.
What?
Please, we don't care about the drones.
What about drones?
Oh, Beast thinks that there's guys in ghillie suits hiding outside of his place.
Oh,
drones are...
Okay.
My thing with Strange New Worlds, let's do the whole Spock and his girlfriend bit. That was completely screwed up.
Which one?
Spock and his woman.
What about him?
Well, she never did. She shouldn't have proposed to him. They shouldn't have been all over each other because it was stated that he hadn't seen her since.
It was never stated he hadn't seen her. It was only stated that they were betrothed when they were young. It was never stated that he had not seen her. Go back and rewatch it.
It doesn't fit the canon.
There is nothing. I rewatched because specifically for that one, because that's one a lot of people made a big fuss about, was T'Pring and Spock. And so I rewatch Amok Time. There is zero dialogue that says that they had not seen each other since they were children. The only reason people assume that is because Spock was looking at a picture of her when she was young, when Kirk walked in. So
why wouldn't he have had more current picture of her if she had proposed to him?
I'll tell you. So you see that door right behind me? On the wall opposite that door is, those little picture frames that hold like 20 pictures. We have one of those, and it has a picture of my wife from when we first met. Okay, so that picture is from 1987.
Damn.
Okay.
But you have no other pictures of her currently?
No. I have a picture of her from just a couple of years ago on another wall. Now, if I happen to have the picture of her from 1987 and I was looking at that picture and you walked in, does that make me a creep? No, I just happen to be looking at that picture as opposed to the picture of her from last year.
But you would think that if he's going back to the planet to get married to her, he would have been looking at something more recent than a picture.
He might have been flipping through. Remember, this is a digital system. He might have been flipping through all the pictures he had, and this just happened to be the one he was on when Kirk walked in. You're making assumptions. That's the only picture of T'Pring that he had.
Well, it would be a logical assumption, though.
Why is that a logical assumption? You think that in the entire ship's database, that's the only picture of T'Pring that Spock has to his available?
It would seem to be, since that's the one he's looking at, because if he's getting ready to go back to meet her, you would think logically he'd be looking at something more recent.
And by the way, I will say this much. I am sure that at the time that Amok Time came out, that the intent of the writers was that, Spock hadn't seen T'Pring since they were kids. I get that. However, it's not a canonical violation if they say, well, they never say they hadn't seen each other. There's no evidence that he didn't have any other pictures. So we're just filling in the gaps. That's not a retcon, and that's not a canonical error. That's just filling in where there's no information. I think there's a big difference between that and doing something like just flat out doing things. Like, for example, if you want to say that Kirk met Pike before Pike becomes fleet captain, okay, that's a retcon. I will grant you that 100%. Right? The fact that the Romulans shouldn't have had a cloaking device 100 years ago, that's a retcon. Right? Those are canonical violations. Spock and T'Pring is not. I will die on that hill. Spock and T'Pring is absolutely not a canonical violation. You may not like the relationship, but it is not a canonical violation at all.
I would just think, though, being the TOS purist that you are, you would have had a problem with that too.
I am more of a TOS purist than most, but the problem is that there's nothing in Amok Time that states that what we see in Strange New Worlds didn't happen.
And what about Vulcan mating rituals?
What about Vulcan mating rituals?
You know, they kind of play it up like they only do things like every 7 years during Ponfar.
Well, actually, and this is another thing that a lot of people like. First of all, you should read books like Vulcan's Forge and stuff, which, by the way, is, you know, a lot of stuff that we're seeing in Strange New Worlds was taken from that book. But the Vulcans are capable of you know, relations anytime they want. They just have to every 7 years.
I kind of avoid the books because there's always been this dogma about the books are not canon.
So they're not canon.
Don't. So
right. But don't
read them.
Right. Well, no, and I get that. I don't generally read the books much, but now that they've made Una, I actually was thinking about reading that particular book because of the Una thing taken directly from the books. But the and some of Spock's backstory taken directly from the books. And so I want to see more about it. But the idea that, and this was written by DC Fontana, who in turn wrote many of the screenplays. And so if you're trying to get into the heads of the writers, if the idea, because that's what you're doing when you're talking about Amok Time, is you're trying to get into what the headspace of the writers as far as what is the intent here of Spock and T'Pring's relationship. Because you're not going by what's on screen, you're trying to read between the lines as to what is implied and what you think the writers intended. So in order to do that, you need to get into the headspace of people like DC Fontana, who was the senior scriptwriter for the show. DC Fontana, who believed that Vulcans could reproduce anytime they wanted, but they were compelled to do so every 7 years. Also, that female Vulcans had a different mating cycle than male Vulcans, and so female Vulcans like T'Pring could have a sex drive whenever she wanted, whereas male Vulcans were the ones that were compelled every 7 years by Ponfar. And that is canonical, by the way. They do say, for example, in Star Trek 3, that Ponfar affects Vulcan males every 7 years. And so, you know, even though T'Pol, and that's another retcon if you look at Enterprise, T'Pol should not be affected by Ponfar because Ponfar only affects Vulcan males. That was established way, way back.
Well, at least they're going to wrap up that court-martial thing quickly, it looks like.
What court-martial thing?
The Una whole thing about...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. You know, that's the stupid thing about it is that, you know, they made that big deal about arresting her, but looking at the trailer, it looks like, oh, that's not going to be much since she's all over the place in the trailer.
Yeah, they're going to wrap that up in the first episode because at the end of that trailer, you see the stupid
the little bell. Yeah.
That'll be wrapped up in the first episode.
Probably, or at the very least, the first two. And so, but yeah, Professor Brain Specs, as far as T'Pol's situation, that is an absolute retcon.
Did you like the spinning Enterprise to drill its way through an asteroid?
No, I hated that. I absolutely, you know, and see, at least I can be consistent. Look, I love Strange New Worlds, but that shot I absolutely hated. So you can sit there and think I'm a hypocrite all day long, but I'm not. When I see that kind of maneuvering in starships in Star Trek, it pisses me off, regardless of which show it's on.
I did like seeing the Klingon battle cruiser.
Yes, although I'm wondering what they're going to call it, because it wasn't quite a D7. I mean, I don't know if you got a good look at it, but we looked at it for quite a while on my stream last night, and
I looked at it, paused quite a bit, and people are kind of guessing maybe a D6.
That's what.
Oh, he bugged out on us, folks. He froze. Got too excited and it froze on him. He could be back.
Check.
Yeah, you're still here.
Something is wrong. There we go. We good? We're good.
I'm good.
All right, sorry, my mic busted out.
Well, I could hear you when you were doing the check.
No, the one check you did and it broke out again. I was checking for a minute.
But Salty just completely froze and looks like he's fallen out. And I don't know. He might have lost internet connection.
Possibly. He might come back.
We'll still be here for a little while.
I was going to say something, but you guys were talking, and then I got my mic shut off on me. So, what was it? Yeah, I'll think about it.
Personally, I'll give this episode 10, The Last Generation. My score is a D. Because
yeah.
D. Too many dumb things in it.
It was I mean, I felt kind of violated seeing a Star Wars scene in Star Trek. I thought that was unneeded.
Yeah, Salty just got assimilated.
The Borg were like powerless, like a cube that big. Doesn't it? I mean, it's so unbelievable. I can't even try to comprehend what that cube is about. How a D could fly through it, yet you still have an inside. How they don't protect their own transmitter. How everybody, the Borgs were dead inside. I was expecting, like, when they got in there, you have all these Borg, right? And then it would take Picard to plug in, and we almost had that moment where he became Locutus for a second. You know what I mean? And he would stop. He would keep the Borg back while they do something like that. But no, all the Borg are dying or half dead. There was a quick 60-second scene with Worf killing a couple and shot a couple times, and then of course those Borg got shot down with the little BB gun phaser that came out of the damn sword. How they didn't have shields for that is by me.
Well, they weren't.
And then
it usually took the Borg a few kills before they would adapt.
I'd understand that 30 years ago. Not today. Not that little. I mean, it looked like like Worf's gun was like a novelty piece, like it was a built-in hand phaser, and it wasn't even like a big one. It looked like a one shooter. You know what I mean?
They died by a phaser,
for God's sakes.
And he's back.
Yeah, sorry about that. At 4:30, my modem resets every day, and I forgot that it was. I'm usually not up at 4:30.
But you stayed up to watch Picard, and
and then I had to rant.
And
of course, and actually, I was going to get up at 5 anyway because to get ready to go to surgery.
They're going to let you sleep through that?
Huh?
Will they let you sleep through it?
Through the surgery?
Yeah.
Well, I would hope so. They're not going to keep you awake while they cut you open at the neck.
Well, I don't know. They did heart surgery on me and kept my ass awake, so.
They kept you awake through heart surgery?
Yeah, when they put the stents in me, I was awake through the entire thing watching it on a TV
hell
screen.
No. Hell no.
They don't put you to sleep for that anymore. They leave you awake.
Oh, no.
They give you a local down by your testicle, and they shoot up through the artery there, and they put it in.
I thought this was a Star Trek stream. I thought this was a Picard stream. Someone said that.
You know, I could picture the.
I mean, I know we were talking about the D, but we're a little off track.
Well, no, that's exactly what happened in Picard. They just shoot the Enterprise right up the butthole of the Borg, right into the,
Well, that's the scary thing. They kept me awake through that, but they put me asleep for a colonoscopy.
Yeah, they knock you out for a colonoscopy, but they keep you awake to put a stent in your heart. That's just oh no, but yeah, for this is an actual surgical procedure where they cut open your neck, so they knock you out.
Okay,
well,
so
I'm gonna have a little scar. I think they said the scar is gonna be like right here.
Well, if you wake up with bolts sticking out of your neck, then you know they're creating a Borg out of you.
Well, I hope so. That'd be cool.
No, speaking of, what was with the whole, he can only leave if he wants to leave? I thought you were fucking Borg. Resistance is futile, motherfucker. What's this automatically now?
Like
you don't have to be
Don't say futile.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but it's like you can choose not to be a Borg now.
Yeah,
and like listening.
Isn't that what happened?
Jack has no prior experience or should have no emotional attachment to Picard, but.
Oh well, you know what that means. So what we saw, and this is here's the ultimate retcon, is this means that Picard is ultimately responsible for everything Locutus did.
Yeah. Yep.
And how did he jack in anyways? He's a freaking android.
Because he was Locutus. I'm saying because he could have quit the collective at any time.
Yeah.
But how would he had any possible? He was a freaking android being plugged in.
No. But you see, we saw in this that Picard, that Jack, he could have just walked away from it. All he had to do was,
and Queen
through
said
through the power of rainbow tears and whatever, he could just leave.
Yep. We were Borg.
That's why I just did not enjoy any of this season, because it was stupid.
All right. So thanks to the power of love. But yeah, I mean, that's actually, I predicted that last week, though, that what was going to happen was Picard was going to talk Jack out of being in the collective. And that's exactly what happened.
I thought it was going to be the daughter, but nope.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that wouldn't happen. They were going to be too busy flying ships to try.
Yeah, I didn't think they were gonna make the Enterprise into an X-wing. I did not see that coming.
And I still want to know how they rebuilt the starbase in a year.
Yeah, that was impressive. How did they rebuild Starbase 1 in 1 year? And redoing the Titan as the Enterprise G, I'm sorry, was a complete cop-out. They just didn't want to build another model. I was really disappointed, because I was waiting with bated breath at the end when they were going to space dock to see the Enterprise G, and I was like, okay, here we go. Let's see what they're going to do. At least give me a good ship for the Enterprise G, and then what do we get? Oh, it's the Titan.
Yep.
Isn't that a huge downgrade?
Yeah, it is. It's a huge downgrade because the Titan is made with 100-year-old technology.
Yes, Yo. So I will agree. The one good thing about the season, no Will Wheaton.
It could have been that. They should have called the Titan the USS Will Wheaton.
I thought for a second there, a split second, they renamed it the USS Picard.
Yeah, me too. When they said in honor of you, I thought they were going to call it the Picard.
And then I seen 1701 as they come up. I was like, oh my God, no. Yeah. Not the freaking Enterprise G.
Yeah, I was sorely disappointed by the fact that the Enterprise G was just another, I mean, it was already the Titan A. So
you know what they're going to do if they have their spin-off, and they're going to have their spin-off if they have the show, and that's going to lead to the Enterprise H.
Why? They'll just keep going on the Enterprise G.
They're going to for most likely a season or two, but they're eventually going to leave.
I don't think so. And by the way, I don't think that show, if they actually did a show with that crew, I don't think it'll do that well, because I think that there'll be some backlash over the fact that basically almost the entire crew is female, and so
no, I think the most of the backlash will just come because Shaw is no longer there.
Well, that's the thing. They killed off the most charismatic character, Shaw, and the only really and so basically what you'll have is you have Jack with the mystery thing with Q. That'll be the mystery box of the show, but then you have so it's Jack and all the girls. In fact, it's just Three's Company in space. It's Jack and the girls. Oh my God, it's Three's Company in space.
And they don't even have anybody as good looking as Janet, damn it.
Man.
Yes, I was a Janet. I was a Janet.
Jack, Ralphie, and Seven in a wacky comedy.
Come knock on my door.
Oh, man.
Well, then they'll have to get somebody to play that lives in the lower decks.
That'll be
Mr. Furley.
They'll get Patrick Stewart to be the Don Knotts character. Oh, Jack! Oh man, it's gonna be horrible.
And you will have your character for the mess hall because they had the cook that I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Oh shit.
So yeah, the USS Enterprise with Jack, Janet, and Chrissy is going to go around the galaxy looking for a good date.
And if Chrissy gets too out of line and starts up with the drugs again, we can replace her with
their cousin Janet.
No,
or Janet? What was her cousin's name?
There was Chrissy. Then there was Jet.
Was it Janet?
No, Janet was the brunette.
Jennifer. Was it Jennifer?
I don't remember the second one. The third one was Terry.
The nurse was Terry, yeah.
But I don't remember which one was in between.
The one that was just clumsy.
Yeah. I can see her face. I just can't remember the damn name.
Yeah, I liked her better than Terry, actually.
Yeah, Terry was just goofy and dumb.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Professor. If they do bring Cindy, there it is, listening.
Yes, Cindy. Thank you, listening. But yeah, and Professor, that is a great point. Why didn't they have O'Brien fix the transporter? Of all the things they could have had Colm Meaney do, fix a transporter issue. That is a brilliant point, Professor Murray.
Or if they're going to have all these kids show up, why didn't they have an O'Brien kid?
Yeah.
Work on the transporters.
That's like that's infuriating right there, because Miles O'Brien is supposed to be Mr. Transporter Chief. So give him something.
And Dr. Bashir would have been the smarter one to figure out how to identify changelings.
Well, he's too busy running Section 31 with, Michelle Yao, I guess. For the
movie. I don't think Colm Meaney wanted to come back either. I think
I don't know. I haven't heard, but regardless, I think that would have been good. So I still think the Three's Company Star Trek movie's coming now.
And I still think it would have made more sense to had Janeway at the end talking to Seven instead of Tuvok.
I think so too, because Janeway is an admiral and would be promoting someone to captain, not another captain.
And Janeway was the one that took Seven under her wing.
Right.
It would have made more sense that way.
Yeah, why would because Tuvok would not be receiving Shaw's reports. Janeway might. If Janeway was the CNC, Janeway would have it.
And yes, Mr. Lundell, they did leave all the DS9 legacy characters out of it.
Unless you count Worf.
Well, maybe.
I did like Worf's threesome comment, and I like Riker's response to it. It's like, do you even hear yourself? That was good. And listening, I think Ensign Kim is still Ensign Kim. And that's something I think would be fun, to have Ensign Kim show up and go, man, I can't believe this. She's a captain for real,
But that's the gist of it, folks. It was a waste of another hour of my time watching Picard.
But the good news is that hour is over, as is that series, or the season and the series. And so, Patrick Stewart, you're done. All right? Look, Patrick, if you can hear this, you're done. All right? You are done. Picard is over.
Hey, Miss
Go retire now. Go retire.
You want to go back to Oxford and do Shakespeare or whatever you want to do. Knock yourself out, buddy. But you know what? For you, Star Trek is over.
It was over after
go away now, as the critical drinker would say.
Well, he killed the character after season 1.
He killed the character back in Star Trek First Contact, but he crapped on the character in this.
I would give him a pass on First Contact because,
of course, you would.
It was. I mean, it was a movie, and you have to do different things in a movie than you do in a television series. Plus, that was the Borg. That was the monster he had to get past.
This was the Borg too.
And there shouldn't have been any more Borg. That's the thing. He crossed that.
Oh, no, you can't get rid of the Borg.
He crossed that bridge. Okay. Just like
apparently, according to this, he crossed the bridge, came back over the bridge, crossed the bridge again, came back over the bridge again, crossed the bridge again, then came back over the bridge again and crossed the bridge.
Jumped in the water, swam under the bridge. Yeah. So I'm so glad that I did not watch any of this.
But yeah, it's
well, I saw the first episode, and the one thing that stuck out was all the damn Easter eggs and member berries. Why? I don't need that.
All they had.
Look, what you need is a writer. Someone who understands the universe and can tell a story. That's what you need.
Well, yeah, Terry Matalas, look, I'm sure, and I've seen 12 Monkeys. It's not bad, but it's not that he's without talent, but at the same time, it seems like all he did was say, how much stuff can I cram into this show? Like as a fan, because he may be a big Star Trek fan, but that's a problem. You don't want, I don't necessarily want a Star Trek fan to write a Star Trek series, because you need someone who is a writer first. If you look at when Harv Bennett and his team made Star Trek 2, they were not Star Trek fans. And what they were filmmakers who then looked at Star Trek and said, how do we make this into a film?
Yeah.
And that's what you needed with this. You needed someone who said, here, let's get a talented team of creatives together and say, okay, now here's what Star Trek was. Now adapt this to the modern age.
See, but here's the thing. We all are fans, but we would not do what Metalis did.
Right, but none of us should write that either, because we would have a tendency to throw a bunch of stuff in that shouldn't be there.
No, I would know better than to throw all the damn member berries in there. It's so damn simple. Okay, you want an interesting Trek show? All right. Play with the Botany Bay. What if, let's say, 20 or 30 of the augments that were there and some genetic material at some point woke up and just went to another planet? Instead, and 100 years before Kirk found them, what is the society like on that planet with those augments now?
I don't know. If I was writing this third season, I would have made the Romulans the bad guys, not the freaking Borg.
No. It would probably have to be Cardassians.
No, it'd be the Romulans, because the last you saw, the Romulans had a big-ass fleet right before Picard died, and they took off again.
It would be nice to know what the heck happened to that big old Romulan fleet.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah,
they never did clear that up.
They
could have brought that back, and they could have brought back Sela as the big one that wanted revenge finally.
Well, and the thing that didn't make any sense to me about this Borg plot was that, okay, so the Queen is basically powerless, and yet she's able to force the changelings to do whatever she wants. Why? How?
Yeah, that whole
well, they never explained how she got in contact with them.
Right,
they said that the changelings came to the Borg.
How?
Why? Why and how?
Revenge.
Makes no
they
sense.
wanted revenge on the humans.
Yeah, but
that was that whole episode. I know, but I'm just telling you where the episode was when she was explaining
how would they know where the Borg was?
They didn't go into that detail. All they said is that we were willing to go to the Borg to destroy you or something like that.
I didn't catch that part. I just heard
they offered us something. It's in that episode though, where she was explaining her past.
Look, all the changelings need is a spot where they can start creating a link. And that's the type of life form that, time should be on their side. So why get in touch with the freaking Borg in the first place?
Right. That's like the changelings. Well, the changelings do the one thing the changelings and the Borg have in common is that they like order. But the changelings would never trust the Borg. Right. Because the changelings don't trust any solids. Mm-hmm. And so what happens when the Borg take over? Then the Borg are going to turn on the changelings and eliminate them.
Yeah.
And the changelings won't have anything to fight back with.
Well, so they already said that the price for evolution was a shortened lifespan.
Right,
but they kind of knew it was a suicide mission.
I don't think that their intent was to die immediately. I think that shortened lifespan probably means several hundred years. Because to them their lifespans are like they're basically immortal. But the changelings teaming up with the Borg sounds interesting, but then the more you think about it, the less sense it makes. Because
should have been
they have some similar goals, but in the end, the Borg would have to destroy the changelings.
Yeah.
And the changelings would know this, and so they would never team up with solids that they know would become their enemy.
That's any solid in changeling mindset.
Right. The changeling, and even these changelings, while they, you know, look at how they even made the comments about solids, you know, effing solids, you know, which, you know, let's talk about the F-bombs being dropped, and, you know, what's with that? I mean, we already had Admiral Pottymouth in season 1, and now we got Picard dropping F-bombs and Vadic dropping the F-bomb and all that. It's like,
yeah,
this is just crap.
It's because they
not
love
Star Trek.
If they were beaming up,
you know, what do you expect?
if they were putting anybody who is affected by the Borg virus through the transporter to fix them, right? They showed us that at the end of the screen.
Yes.
Why was the changeling one of them to begin with? Because they should not have been affected. They're not 25 years old.
Yeah, but they were. I think they were sending everyone through to
right, and the changelings were just being detected now. That's all.
No, but that wasn't the scene. The scene was them purposely. They even said it. We found a way to fix it, and we're somebody or whoever, some organization is helping everybody go through these transporters and get fixed up. The entire fleet had to go get
right. They're removing the Borg DNA.
Yeah. So why was the changeling in that list?
The changeling was disguised as a member.
Everybody had to go through the transporter.
No, just the people. Just the 25.
No, everybody has to go through.
No, everybody did.
Yeah,
yeah.
The transporter only targeted the young people,
but the older
the DNA
still
was
had
in everybody, even the old people.
Yeah, that's not what I thought it was. I thought it was
go back. Worked on the young people. That's what they said. The DNA was in everybody, but it only worked on people whose brain was still developing. Which means that.
Okay, so even if that's true, why would
that is true? Go back and watch the episode; it'll tell you. Yeah. And the changelings were had to go through, or they were breaking their disguises because they were Starfleet, so they would have to go through too. They just didn't know that. They just didn't know that everything was modified to also scan for the changelings.
Right. And the changelings might have kept that on the down low so that, you know, the changelings wouldn't know until they got caught.
Frog DNA. That's the frog DNA. It's all frog DNA.
It's frogs all the way down, man.
Let's just make shit up as we go.
That's just the whole thing about this series. It's just and you know, I'm even more mad now at and boy, I'll tell you, if you want to see some fireworks, Salty Nerds podcast this Saturday, because I'm going to be on their show. They invited me on a post Picard season wrap up with their whole group, and I'm going to be probably the only person who's going to be ragging on this show. But these people were, especially the people from like the Popcast, who've had Terry Metalis on their show like 25 times, and they've been sucking his dick for the last 10 weeks, talking about how awesome he is, and how this show is like the greatest thing in the history of Star Trek, and how this show answers every question you could possibly have. I'm going to say, what the hell? I walk away from the show with more questions than I ever had.
I'm going to apologize to Terry Metalis. Somebody can call him. Anybody who knows Terry, tell him I'm sorry. I'll suck his dick.
Now, the question is, were we all watching the same show?
Don't turn this into some metaphysic. What do you even mean by that? Because you're scaring me.
No, I mean you've got all these guys, you know, starting with Burnett and you know how great this is. You know, we've all seen it. We saw the 6 episodes, and it's good. Okay, Why? And we sit and watch the same episodes and like, no, it's not. This is the same. But then you had no, just take it away from season 1 and 2. No, you can't do that. It's all one, but it's better. No, it's not. Here's why. And then you ask them, what do you see that makes it great that I'm missing? And they can't answer it.
Well, they'll say how awesome it is that you see the Enterprise D again. Well, that's a great member, Barry. But tell me what's great about the story.
Yeah, that's
that's
what they can't tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll agree that it's nice to see the Enterprise D again, even though I don't like the Enterprise D. I'll acknowledge that even though I think the Enterprise D is an ugly ship, I thought it was cool to see it again. But that doesn't carry a series. I need a good story. And the fact that at the end of the day, we still don't know exactly why the whole, so they just wanted revenge because revenge, I guess. And Vadic had to cut off her hand to talk to the Borg because
that made no sense at all.
Yeah. Why?
Well, all she had to do was walk in a room and
why didn't you just turn on the comms and say, "Get me the Borg Queen"? I understand they were trying to hide it from the audience, but at the same time, cut off the hand and have a face that looks like freaking Nagilum pop up on the screen.
Now, see, they still could have. She could have walked into a room and you could have seen a figure in the shadows that she talked to, and then at the right
like
time,
Future Man kind of thing,
steps into the light, and you see it's the Borg bitch. Okay.
Well, and if you think about it, look at how the Borg Queen looked when we finally saw her. If you had seen that in the shadows, you might not figure out who it was. Even if you saw her half lit, that face was messed up. And so you might not recognize her. And so unless you were really paying attention and you knew her and you knew Alice's voice really well. But even then, if it was distorted because comms and nebulas and stuff like that, so you can distort the voice a little bit, make it a little harder to make out. But to have it be a male voice that looks like Nagilum and having her cut off her hand to do it and all that stuff for no reason whatsoever other than to throw people off. And not to mention to waste 8 episodes out of a 10-episode series on what is essentially just a lackey who ends up getting thrown out of the dumbest airlock ever devised in the history of science fiction so that she can shatter on the front of her own ship. Okay. I mean...
Also, they ripped off that Star Wars movie.
So now the view screen is not only a window, it's an airlock?
Oh, yeah. Gotta have that. Gotta make it look cool.
You know what it was? Is that, so when Terry Matalis was watching, what was it, Nemesis, when they blew up the front of the bridge and they were like, hey, I can do one better. Let's just make that the door.
What's the fastest way we can get him off the bridge? What if the screen just opened up?
Well, I could have swore
someone literally said, hey, what if you did put a screen door on a submarine?
I could have swore that one shot on the Enterprise D, though, the view screen actually looked more like a window.
Well, that was because it was on. It was showing you the outside. I thought the same thing too until I looked at it closely. Looked like it was glass, but it was just on. The screen was on. It's like a webcam.
Oh, and by the way, how is it that they removed Jack's implants in between the time that
I said that? Yes, completely
just
removed.
He was on the turbo lift going to the bridge. Would they just rip it off his face?
transporter.
That's what it looked like to me. Is that you just ripped it off.
They had a see before he got assimilated. They took his brush and they found a piece of his hair, and they were able to just remove everything from his DNA.
Listening,
I'm surprised they fully assimilated him in the first place.
That was explained that Soon had built even another body after he said the last one he gave to Picard, but he built a new one for Data.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And don't forget, this is Data Lore Lol Soon.
Yeah, but they did say that B4 and Lol wasn't really part of it. It just had memories from it, but it wasn't actually.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Data. I mean, they call him Data, but that's not Data. He doesn't act like Data.
No, they don't. But
I mean, I don't know why everybody's calling him Data, because he doesn't act at all like Data. He may have Data's memories, but he also has the memories of, like you said, Lore and Lol and Soon. So why are they calling him Data?
Well, he already had the memories of Lol. That the reason why Lol was in there was because
but I'm just saying that. But they were saying that was all established early on, is that he had the memories of all four, and
but then it came down that there was only two functioning minds at work.
Personalities were apparently Data and Lore, but the personality we ended up with is definitely not Data.
No, because at one point he does a contraction too.
He does contractions. His feelings are much more on the surface.
Because he's a real boy. He was Pinocchio. Now he's a real boy. Like they've pretty much, he's got emotions, the whole 9 yards. Even what's her name can sense him.
He's a freaking machine.
He's a real boy now.
Yeah. How did Troy sense his emotions?
Yeah,
they were trying to say that the synth body.
You know, I'm sorry. I don't care how good of an empath Troy is. She's not going to detect feelings from my toaster.
And Troy was never supposed to be a good empath anyway. She could only pick up vague feelings because of her human side. That was established clear back in TNG.
I liked most of Data's acting during the season, but that one scene where he's like looking like a kid in a candy store flying the D, that was a hard.
Listening, there was more than just Dr. Soon. There's Spiner has played like 5 different versions of Soon.
Yeah, just in the last couple of years. I mean, if you think about it, Data's played how many different versions of Soon? He's played different versions of Soon each season of Picard.
Yeah, each season of Picard there was a Soon.
He did it in
there
Enterprise as well.
He played Soon in Enterprise. He played Soon in TNG. So yeah, so there's been at least 4.
Yeah, 4 versions of a Soon.
Plus Data, Lore, B4. And now the Abomination. That's what I'm going to call the new one. So I mean,
and though the Soon in Enterprise was a geneticist that decided that he would switch over to
robotics,
robotics, which makes no sense either. That's 2 fields that really aren't interchangeable.
Oh, come on. You know, it's true that most people who are in genetics, if they get frustrated and quit, they become roboticists. And most people in robotics today started in genetics.
Well, the play up with that is that Soon was this mad genius. And he just started thinking along. He could start thinking along.
And apparently every offspring of a Soon was a mad scientist.
Yeah.
And every offspring of a Soon just happens to look exactly like Brent Spiner. Because, you know, if there's one thing we do know is that Brent Spiner is madly in love with Brent Spiner.
And we can't really answer if Lore is really gone because Lore was there inside the body of.
Yeah, Lore's still there.
We are me. That's what he said.
And there still has to be a Lore body out there that still has.
Yeah, the original Lore is still out there. The original Lore is in Daystrom.
So they could fire him back up at any time. But now it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense how Kirk's body got off the planet, because apparently they had to go back and retrieve everything off the planet, so there was no contamination.
Yeah, but didn't the wolves already eat Kirk's bodies, and Picard didn't even bother to dig a grave?
Do we know there was any kind of wolves on the planet, though?
Well, I'm pretty sure there was something. I mean, at least vultures.
Yeah, but did they even establish that there was life on that planet?
Well, we saw vegetation.
Well, I mean, civilization, I should say.
No, they didn't. There was no evidence of a civilization on that. There was a civilization on the other planet in the system. But that planet, I don't think, was populated, if I remember correctly. But
the one that the wave probably destroyed.
Yeah, but then
the wave
got
the entire system.
Yeah,
but then the wave got wiped out because he went and got Kirk out of the Nexus, and they defeated.
Yeah, and waved his big Kirkness at him.
So the wave didn't actually happen to hit the planet that way.
Okay,
but
so
they wanted to clear the Enterprise D out of there so that, like, the presence, if life did evolve on the planet, the presence of the Enterprise D saucer wouldn't affect it.
Or if the other civilization on the other planet ever went to spacefaring, they wouldn't land there and find evidence of life.
They would. They'd find the Enterprise D saucer. They could learn about the technology, learn about the Federation, blah blah blah. You know, I mean, I get it. Prime Directive, blah blah blah. They would need to clean up their mess. I'm fine with that.
Except though, when they picked up Kirk's body, they wouldn't have stored it at Daystrom. They would have took it back to Earth and gave it a proper burial. Yeah,
they either would have given him a proper, and in fact, they probably would have given him a hero's burial, you know, at whatever their equivalent of, you know, some kind of military graveyard, you know, like Arlington kind of thing. They probably would have done something like that, or shot him into space. You know, but they, you know, I think the bones in Daystrom was just a big FU to William Shatner. And I'm beginning to think that's also why they horribly miscast Kirk in Strange New Worlds as an FU to Shatner.
Yeah, because we'll play the game.
The Strange New World Kirk reminds me of freaking Jim Carrey cosplay.
Yeah, I think they're basically trying to emasculate Kirk because they're trying to basically piss all over Shatner's legacy, because Shatner doesn't like the whole woke games that the studios have been playing. And, you know, and Shatner's not, you know, Shatner's old enough where he doesn't give a crap.
I'm surprised they didn't do a bigger FU and have it Sulu's grandson or something as the president of Star Wars.
Well, I thought it was classy to do Anton Chekhov as a tribute to Anton Yeltsin.
Well, I thought that was classy, but if they really wanted to do an FU at Shatner, they would have had Takei in there somewhere.
Well, I do think it's interesting that the USS Sulu destroyed the Excelsior.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah. What they should have done was had the ship that went crazy be the USS Kirk, and had the USS Sulu destroy that.
But then again, there's other TV series where Sulu can pop up in.
Yeah. You know what they could do in Strange New Worlds is have Sulu show up, and Kirk and Sulu are gay lovers or something.
Don't. I don't even want to have that. No.
Hey, if they do that, I will stop watching. I'll tell you, if they actually went there, I would stop watching. That would be a little more than I could take. Anyway, I do need to run, guys, because I got to leave for surgery in 45 minutes, and so I got to get ready and all that. But
go get ready. Have a safe surgery.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you guys, passing the time and ranting. So thank you for
happy
putting
birthday again.
Yeah, thank you. And so hopefully, assuming that I survive the surgery and they don't screw everything up, I will be on my live stream in approximately 12 hours. Well, 11 hours and 45 minutes.
May want to tune in, folks, just to see if he comes back as a female.
Yes. If there's a problem with the surgery or something, then Danny and Jason will still do the live stream without me on my channel. So, but I do plan to be there if at all possible.
God help you.
Hey, take it easy.
Take her easy. And he's gone. I know. It's getting that time, Mr. Lundell, where you can go to sleep soon. I have to go out and get my fireball later today.
Oh. It's going to be one of those weekends, huh?
Well, yeah, that's what Saturday's going to be, is fireball weekend. Not sure how it's going to turn out, but could be interesting.
Oh, well, good luck to you.
And we will see if Captain Foley remembers to show up this time. I should go cut that part where he said he would out of his stream last night and replay it over and over. Little video messages to him for the rest of the week. Let's see. What the hell? Not much else is happening for this rest of the week.
No, it's not.
Everything is about over with, so there's nothing else to watch. Mandalorian's over. Picard is now over.
Let's hope for good.
Hopefully they don't bring the Borg in. Strange New Worlds.
All the buzz will be, they'll change it. They'll try to make all the buzz about the Section 31 made for TV movie.
I'm not even going to watch that damn thing.
I don't think anyone is.
But apparently from the end of this Picard thing, they're supposed to be making 3 other movies or some shit that ties into the ending of Picard. So you'll probably get a 7 and 9 and Rafi movie.
I'm hoping all that is just buzz.
I'm hoping that too, because
just to see, I mean, that's been a trademark of Kurtzman. He'll throw shit out there just to see it, what'll stick.
I'm actually surprised they're doing the Section 31 movie, because except for a couple of random people, I don't see anybody that really wants to watch it.
Nobody really wanted a Picard series, okay? Except for Stewart. That's who wanted that.
That's right. Don't expect any good ending to a Star Trek series, because I was wrong there. I kind of thought Michael Burnham would show up and say end Hollow program.
They could still do it. I mean,
it would have been fun. It would have been funnier if future Archer was the one that was end Hollow program. But no, they had to give us the ending of Enterprise as a fucking episode of TNG.
Oh, well.
Listening did want Picard, just not this way. Oh, we're talking about today's writers, and none of them can write.
That's a given. That's been a given for several years now.
None of them can freaking write. They just steal shit from other TV shows and
Yeah.
tweak it a little bit and call it their own.
And do it terribly.
We went from old Star Trek movies to Battlestar Galactica to Star Wars, all in 10 episodes. I don't care what anybody says. They can call me a shill or anything else, but I didn't like this series. By tomorrow, when I wake up, I'll have forgotten most of it. Till I watch the Bird Rant. Bird Rant should be good. I think LGG fell back asleep on us finally.
Oh, did he? Oh.
I think he finally
I'm
did.
not asleep. I'm right here.
You're laying down though, aren't you?
I am laying down.
Called it.
So he's about 65% asleep.
Yeah.
Listen to him.
Yeah, the 66.6.
60. Oh, you're the devil. You just said 666.
I mean, it's not much more to talk about Picard, and well, for me, I mean, it's just been horrible. My brain needs to process this. And,
my brain doesn't want to process it. I'm going to lay down and I'm going to think of something else. I may actually watch another
bird stream.
I may turn the TV back on and fall asleep with Babylon 5 on again.
Oh, hey.
I just got to the point where they left Earth, said to hell with it, we're not being with you no more, and the Minbari showed up to save their ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good way to cleanse the palate.
Yep. Watch a little Babylon 5 and fall asleep with good thoughts in my head.
Yeah. Well,
It's either that or watch Galactica 80. And that would cleanse the palates of my brain at this moment.
I started early with 2001. So I guess I can go into overdrive on it now since it's over.
Yep. And then in a month and a half, I'll start hate watching Strange New Worlds again. Pick that sumbitch apart. Though I'm not staying up in the middle of the night to watch it drop. Hell no, I'll wait till the next day. But folks,
yep. How many you got left?
I've got 11 watching, but you know what? It's time to go to sleep. I'm tired. And
yeah.
And we all know what that means. It means for my nightly ritual of getting my ass chewed out by Captain Foley. So thank you, Mr. Lundell, for showing up. Thank you, LDG. Thank you, Salty, for being there. Bird, Positive, everybody else. But we're out of here.
Am I fired again? Yeah, you're fucking absolutely fired. All your promotions are redacted. Like, dude, why would you have to fuck yourself like that? Why? You're clipping all this shit, aren't you? You're going to have a fucking montage of all the times I said you were right, I said you were wrong, said you were fired, said you were rehired, said you were promoted during this live. You're going to have them all and play them on your channel, aren't you? Well, you've absolutely been fired again because you're an asshole. You're fired from talking to me and being my friend and being on my channel. Get the hell out of here. Go on, get the hell out of here.